This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 364 for the week of Monday, April 13th, 2015. My name is Zach.
And my name is Ed.
And my name is Steve.
We have a lot of very special guests today, but we have to start with... Too many, if anything. But we have to start with our most special guest because he's our very special guest every week. It's Stephen Paul. Hey, Stephen.
Hey, guys. What's going on?
For those who don't know, he is the translator for One Piece and Weekly Shonen Jump, which is a cool job, I would assume.
Yeah.
We also have the dude with us. Hey, dude.
Hey, guys.
How's it going?
It's going great.
Great. We also have, it's been a while, we have Dennis from Super Kaizoku. Hey, Dennis. How's it going?
It's going well. When I'm not making Dragon Ball Disney parodies with Steve, I like to podcast.
That was fun.
That was really good. That was really good.
That was a moment of passion. If you don't know what we're talking about, well, Jesus Christ, if you listen to this episode any later than like a month from now, you're not going to be able to find it. But I just kind of started going on Twitter about how I wish I was at the Resurrection F premiere, and then it turned into a Little Mermaid parody between myself and Ichnob, and we did a good job. We did a very good job.
Yes,
it did.
Speaking of gimmick infringement.
We also have, all the way from Japan, very special guest joining us here last minute. We're happy to have him, though. We have Greg. Hey, Greg.
Hey, everyone out there that is into Japanese dramas, I'm sure there's a few of you listening. You're not only One Piece fans, I know. Totally recommend Lone Shark Ushijima-kun. It's awesome. Yes, I know I added the kun on there, but that's in the title of the show, so it doesn't matter. You should totally check it out. Very, very cool. Very, very dark and funny. Yeah, check it out.
We have some pretty huge announcements. We're just going to start out the show. I don't think we're going to leave anyone in suspense here. I think we're going to start with the big news here. Steve, Jammer, myself, Ed, and Jose will be going to Dallas the weekend of Memorial Day to do some filming and to go to Funimation, see people, interview people. It's going to be called OPP Dallas as of right now. You guys excited?
Oh, yeah.
OPPD?
OPPD.
So
We're giving them the D.
Hey, guys, it's me, Jammer. I'm super excited. Hey, I wonder why you didn't end up asking the dude. That's weird, but you wouldn't ask him that, if he could go.
I don't know. Let's ask him.
Yeah.
Why can't you go, dude?
I can't. I'm camping that weekend.
Oh, camping. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
enjoy sleeping on the ground.
I will.
I believe it's called The Floor.
So if anyone's in the Dallas area from May 21st through the 25th, please let us know. We're going to get there, I think, late on the 21st, but we'll be there that Memorial Day weekend starting that Friday. Please let us know. Maybe we'll put some meetup together.
Yeah, if there's enough interest, we might try to get some sort of meetup going. But otherwise, we'll be busy bees.
Well, yes, that is for sure. We'll also be putting up a page. Any contributions for anyone who would like to make it more possible for us to do more there, you could go to onepiecepodcast.com/donate. We'll also put up an OPP Dallas page, OPPD, soon.
We're all about the original content.
Exactly.
Yep. The best police department in town. The One Piece Police Department.
We also have another announcement. We have a new shirt out. Steve, would you like to describe this new shirt?
What? Yes, we do. People have been wanting us to do some more shirts, and so we did more shirts. Oh, you want me to go into more detail?
Yes.
Okay.
This is only a shirt we've been working on for like 4 years.
It's only a T-shirt design that we put in the Disney vault for so many years, only to bring it back.
And it's only out for 3 more days, I think, unless I could get it extended. Yeah.
Remember Banana Me? That was a joke. No, it's awesome. My old Banana Me design with Eneru as a banana, it's now online at Teespring. And if you want a Banana Me T-shirt, you better go on there and pre-order one because they're not going to last. I think this is going to be the only run we're going to do for them. It's going to be a lot more limited than the One Piece Podcast Jolly Roger T-shirt. So if you want to support us or if you want an awesome Banana shirt.
Steve, actually, the way that Teespring works is this is a shorter run, but if you get enough people to reserve it, and then goes back into production.
That's right, Zach.
Yes.
It goes back into production if you pre-order a lot.
Yes. So transitioning into that, we also have our original One Piece podcast shirt is back in production because at least 10 of you wanted it, and I think we're up to 11, so that's good.
Hooray.
So if you're interested in that, you could go to teespring.com/One Piece podcast. If you want the Banana-Me shirt, it's teespring.com/Banana-Me shirt.
I should mention that our T-shirts are pretty popular. When we had all our prizes set up at our Anime Boston panel, the T-shirts were like the first to go.
Everyone likes a free T-shirt.
So. Like people like saw that Doflamingo and Trafalgar Law cover to my fan fiction, but they're like, gotta go with that T-shirt. We need to post that picture online of that post.
Yeah. I think I've tweeted it several times at this point, maybe. I don't remember.
It's riveting.
One more piece of news. This is both good and bad news, mostly bad. There are 2 breaks in the manga coming up. You may have heard this, and we will be reminding people who will suddenly stumble upon our website intermittently. And that is on April 27th. On April 20th, there will be no chapter, and on May 4th, there will be no chapter. So that's next week, and in, 3 weeks?
The 4th not be with us.
Yeah. But we have some good news, and that is what we're going to be having planned for you on this podcast. Next week, we're going to do our Volume 77 recap with Steven.
Woo! Yeah.
It's going to be informative and fun as usual, right, Steven?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you, Zach, for buying me a volume.
Yes. No problem.
Sorry for accidentally giving away yours at the panel.
A little more of a problem, but that's fine. Then the week after, we're going to do our recap of Chapter 784. I think we could all say we're very excited for that one. And on May...
Even though
we're both.
Chapter's not ready.
So I guess we're not ready yet. And on May 4th, we're going to do our special ending episode. Dude, you're excited about this one too, right?
I'm not just excited, Zach. I'm excited and ready.
Okay, we get it. That is what I said. I said that during a movie a year ago, but...
Yeah, and that's noble.
Noble.
Okay.
I'm so proud of that. I got him to say that, too. That was
Damn you, Greg. I was completely not lucid. I had like 2 hours of sleep.
That enhances it, Zach.
So today we have a manga recap for Chapter 783, an anime recap for Episode 688, and probably a lengthy piece together. You guys ready to get this thing started?
Oh, yeah.
Let's get this party started.
Let's set sail for adventure! Yeah!
This is the news segment. You could check out all the latest One Piece news at onepiecepodcast.com. I do want to announce here that we have a new Japan correspondent. We've been putting out the word for a little while, and Allison has answered the call, so we want to welcome her onto the team. Hey, Allison, if you're listening out there. The big news, though, this week is that the One Piece manga is on break on April 20th and May 4th. We've discussed that a lot, so let's not dwell on bad news. Pool party, guys! Pool part? No? Woo! Thank you. The Straw Hats are
And here comes the bad fan service.
The Straw Hats are joining a summer event at the Shimbasa, world.
Namja Town.
Namco Namja.
Same idea at the same time there.
The Water Adventure 3, the One Piece Memorial Log event, is going to be in I think this is in Fukui, which is where Greg is. So hopefully he gets to go over there and let us know how the summer pool event is. This was actually something. There was a summer pool event in I don't remember where it was. I'm sorry, Greg, if you're listening. But there was another pool event we were thinking of going to for OPP Japan, but we didn't have the funds or the time. So if you're in Japan and you're anywhere near Fukui, which I know is out there a little bit, please enjoy it. It goes from July 4th through September 23rd. Supposedly these are a lot of fun. And a little bit bigger news, Naruto author Masashi Kishimoto commented about One Piece in his interview with My Hero Academia's author. There's some really interesting things. I think you guys would do well to check it out. He talks a lot about just the competition with Oda and his friendship with Oda, and kind of how it helped him as an author. Also related to Kishimoto, there is going to be an interview with him and Oda in an upcoming Naruto guidebook. So check that out as well. There's a lot more information on our website. Steve, back at Anime Boston, I think I showed you a trailer for a game called Run Shopper Run. I don't know if you remember this. Steve?
Quite well.
Okay.
It was only a couple weeks ago.
And do you remember kind of the gist of this game?
A lot of running.
Yes. And Chopper. A lot of Chopper as well. Well, there are new costumes revealed for Lost Sabo and more. Check that out on our site. If you haven't checked the trailer out, it is freaking hilarious. And you're missing out if you haven't. Luffy is having a birthday bash. For those who don't remember, he has his birthday on Cinco de Mayo, which is celebrated as Children's Day in Tokyo for some reason.
He does have the heart of a child.
That's true. But Cinco de Mayo and Children's Day just shouldn't mix, but I'm not going to question anything. Go to OnePiecePodcast.com for more on that. And there's also a 3D exhibit that's coming in late April. You could check out more. That's going to actually be in Hong Kong. You could check out more information for that. It's starting on April 27th at the Hong Kong 3D Museum. So that's all the news. You can check out that and a lot more. That was just today's news to give you an idea. Go to OnePiecePodcast.com for all the latest news. Big thanks to William, Adil, and Allison for all their hard work on the news, and to Jammer and James for all their editing hard work. And, of course, all our editorial writers. Just as a plug, Sam has put out an editorial that I think is definitely worth a read. It's called Sam's Piece, Do We Want an Anime Reboot? I think it is a legitimate question, and how exactly would Toei approach it? He posits all that and more. We also have a new Chow Time coming out, and it's a good one this week, going through fairy tales and how they mythology, essentially, how it relates to One Piece. A little different from the etymology stuff, so I think you guys will enjoy that. He comes back from his 2-week break on Wednesday. So with that out of the way, you want to get into the next segment, guys?
All right.
This is the manga recap for chapter 783, In My Way. Ed, what's going on the front page here?
Well, Zach, on the first page, we have a big Wadatsumi who is using his finger, and he is...
That's true. That's
I mean, he's pointing. He's trying to make a point here. He says,
Did you just flip me off?
That's what I thought he was doing. I'm like,
it looks more like he has a little boner periscope there.
Things you can't unsee.
Things you can't say on television.
The hunt for Red Oct Boner.
I'm writing these down early this week.
Oh, man. Wow, he broke Steve.
Oh, God, we're not even off the title page.
It's not hard to break Steve, but as far as boner periscopes go, that's...
And then the point of this cover page is that Wadatsumi Wada's to go with him.
Steve, you might need to take a walk, come back when you're fixed.
Yeah, take a cold shower.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know.
They're ready to get off the page.
Okay,
And the Tom Daughters would get along fabulously.
I'm not doing my Dragon Ball Z laugh, so...
Yet.
Give it
No, I didn't realize that was a pun until Ed said it, and he said it with such a dry delivery. I love this cover page now.
All right.
I think we've exhausted that.
There's really nothing else going on, so expect more Wadatsumi in this cover story. Unless
we're
next
getting
chapter
2 new
Jinbei-
crew members.
Yeah, unless the next chapter Jinbei's like, fuck off.
The next chapter is As, the solitary journey of Jinbei. First on the
No.
sea, 28. No.
In my dreams only.
At this pace, I wouldn't doubt it.
And then Hack's senses are tingling like, wait, I want to go with Jinbei.
The solitary journey of Jinbei, first son of the sea, volume 29. Come on, I'll be your friend.
Okay, Ed, let's.
Journey, first son of the sea, volume 30. No. You're mean.
You mean the solitary journey of Jinbei, best friend of Hack? That should have been called, really. I mean,
All right. Believe it or not, there was a chapter this week. I hear things happen.
We're just stalling the inevitable here.
We can't take it. We can't take it. Ed, what's going on?
All right, so carrying over from last week, we have a big fire explosion above the palace, and we see Luffy sort of jumping back. They have speed lines with Luffy jumping back with sort of clenched teeth, and Doflamingo is with he's got a frowny face on. He's not looking very happy about it.
That's a rare thing, actually.
It's actually an understated expression from Doflamingo.
Yeah.
But back on the ground, we see that the Robin and their crew and Kyros and Rebecca are saying huge flames are erupting from the palace, and Robin is concerned about what's going on, and the Tontadas are there too with Kyros and Rebecca, and we hear Leo say, "Is he all right? We should help somehow." But Kyros tells them not to interfere. Robin agrees they would only get in the way. Even the man with the same Seven Warlords title as Doflamingo, she says, Trafalgar Law is in that terrible state. As we see the explosion sort of finishing up, Cub and Leo look shocked, and Luffy erupts out of the fireball carrying the destroyed husk of Trafalgar Law, Lawland.
It just occurred to me, is this kind of similar to the Marineford thing, when Ace is carrying Luffy and Luffy's carrying Mr. 3, except now it's Law.
And his other arm.
And Law's other arm.
I'm glad that Luffy decided to pick up the arm while he was at it.
Yeah.
If his name in the Coliseum was Lucy, does that make this Lucy Lawless?
Oh.
More like
Scribble,
Lucy
scribble.
because he's missing an arm. You get it?
But actually, I really like the that frowny face that Doflamingo has on the previous page. He's just sort of like, all right. He did not want Treble to light that fireball.
Fire bad.
I was actually wondering why Robin has a concerned look for Doflamingo.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
Doflamingo. It's like, what?
Like, what did he do?
That was kind of weird.
Yeah, that really confused me too.
What I'm Luffy. I know she's not concerned. I think she's shocked. Oh, it's Luffy and it's Doflamingo. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's that they both escaped the fireball. Is what it is.
That's your stereotypical anime thing where they chant the name of the person they're concerned about. Oh my god, Luffy, Doflamingo. Now it's just like, what did he do to earn that? Like, why does she care what happens to Doflamingo?
But whose side is she on?
Actually, what I think is that she's surprised that both of them escaped the fireball.
Yes, that's how I saw that.
Yeah.
On the next. Oh, sorry, Ed. You had
next page. That's it.
Okay. Well, that's what I was doing, Ed. You okay there? So Luffy jumps off with Law, as we see, and Robin says, "Hey, send him down here." And Luffy says, "Thank you." He's already done his part, so it's his part to put pressure on Doflamingo. So he throws him down with his sword, and Robin realizes that his arm is not attached to Law's body. And she makes a spider net out of her arms. It's pretty. Have we seen this technique?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like Law's still a little bit on fire there.
Yes, it does.
I was also going to comment that yes, we've seen this before because Robin did it in the Spa Island filler. Ooh.
I forgot you were just watching that.
I never actually saw it before, and my summary of it really quick is, what was the point of all that?
Aside from somehow having the best animation in the entire series,
And
boobs.
And
that
fumbly jumblies.
But at least they're correctly proportioned boobs. I think more so.
They were getting pretty massive.
Okay, I don't remember. I haven't seen that.
We did get we can talk about the immobile basketballs in this week's anime recaps.
Yeah, that's
My God.
And I don't want to spend the manga recap talking about filler. Piece arc, piece arc, piece arc.
Okay, so why don't we continue? We see Doflamingo staring on, saying, it's Nico Robin. None of your meddling.
Good reading.
Thank you.
I'm literally twirling my mustache right now.
He's still alive and breathing. I'm not done with him. Am I going too far now?
Kiros expresses concern for Doflamingo.
Doflamingo, no! You'll be okay, don't worry. And Luffy throws what is essentially a whip. He calls it a bullet string hawk whip.
No, that's Doflamingo.
Bullet string and his hawk whip. I see. Now I get it.
He's not Majin Buu. He doesn't just steal people's attacks.
Gimmick stealing.
Infringement.
Gimmick infringement, I'm sorry. So, yes, those are two different techniques that I should have realized were happening at different times. Steven.
Yes. So Luffy, he's essentially blocking Doflamingo, but he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it in before some of those little bullet strings get past. So on the next page, we see they are both looking intense. They're clashing, but the bullets are shooting onward. They are descending upon Robin, who has her hands full with Law. And who should step in but Cavendish with a move, Precious Metal Axe, despite him not having an axe in his hands. And this, I'm sure Greg noticed this immediately upon looking at the Japanese. It has I wouldn't say extremely different, but the kanji and the name that was written in English or meant to be read as English words were a bit different. And it was help me, Greg. It was Kino no Gino no, right?
I don't know the order
the kanji,
offhand, but I think it's Well, that's actually an interesting point. What point you're getting to? What order was it?
So that is it is one. I think that's one of the. Is that an Aesop fable or is that some other?
I don't know the origin, but I thought it was originally a Japanese one. I thought it was I guess not for axes, but I guess the point we're getting to is
it's it is the name or it's based on a like a fairy tale or a fable type thing about a woodcutter. I am like 99% positive that's a Western thing. It's just one of those things that happens to be very widely known in Japan, and it's the story of a woodcutter who is cutting wood in a lake, and he has a crappy old axe, and then he accidentally drops it in this pond, and the spirit of the pond comes out, and it has, or it's like it's a god or something like that, has a gold axe and a silver axe, and it asks the woodcutter, which did you drop in here? Was it the gold axe or the silver axe? And the moral of the story is that because he is a humble and honest woodcutter, he says, no, what I dropped was, this just plain old wooden axe. And then, because in recognition of his honesty, I think the spirit gives him like both of the axes or something like that. So, he's rewarded for his honesty and not giving in to his greed. I don't really know what that has to do with Cavendish here.
I was looking at that as his character. The name of I just looked it up. So it's not something I know offhand, but it's The Honest Woodsman. It's about honesty, basically, and it's one of Aesop. It is one of Aesop's fables.
Okay,
and it was Hermes, I guess, who originally brought him back the axes or something. But what does that have to do with his character? Like, would he be that humble? I don't know. Is that kind of what it is?
Maybe it's supposed to be ironic.
Yeah, it might be an ironic thing.
I think that's what he was going for. Yeah.
Steven, continue.
So at any rate, he blocks the string attacks, and Robin rewards him by calling him that stupid nickname, Cabbage. And he points, I fell asleep and you're still fighting? That's a good question. He's like, I fell asleep and you're still fighting? Jeez. He's furious that Luffy has been taking this long. No doubt because he's insinuating that he would have done this already. But Luffy calls out to Cabbage to escort everyone down from there. And Cavendish is not happy. He, now that he's kind of thrust himself into the limelight here in a at least semi-direct confrontation with Doflamingo, he says, "No, I have to do my part here. I have to cross blades with him." And Luffy gives him this order. He says, "I need you to take care of them." And then we get some very fast mental calculation from Cavendish here. It kind of reminds me of when Luffy was calculating the number of meals he missed in Alabasta.
Sounds about right. Yeah.
Where I just hear like the register sound, cha-ching, 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 and he thinks, he needs me. He trusts me. I have magnetism. I'm popular. Straw Hat is my fan. And so he recontextualizes that information and says, "Oh, if it's a request from a fan, I can't turn it down."
It kind of reminds me of a Baby 5 too.
See, I'm just reminded of Jeff Goldblum and Independence Day.
Who's having butt sex?
Butt sex. Well, for butt sex, you need lube. Like looping up the
lubrication. Chupacabra.
Yeah, there it is. That's the.
And
finishes up. Yeah.
So Cavendish points out, well, Bartolomeo is on the lower level. We can use his power to descend, because obviously he can make the stairs with his barrier. And let's see, is that Kyros? Yeah, it looks like Kyros. He's asking Leo if there's anything he can do, and Leo says his wounds are all torn up. If I can just sew them together. And Princess Mantrey says, then I can heal him with my watering can. So they obviously know what to do here. We have long expected that their powers will come in at some point, either with Law or with Doflamingo, and it seems pretty appropriate here that they're going to be called upon to.
When their powers combined, they are really fucking cute.
Thank you, Greg. And yes,
form a bucket of water for those tears.
And Rebecca says, "Oh well, we should do as Lucy says and head downward."
That's great that she still calls him that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, this is really the arc of the nicknames. Like Oda has always been about characters having different nicknames for each other, and like he's really kind of going over. Like I'm just imagining someone reading this chapter, like their first introduction to this arc, and being like, what is everyone's name even? You don't even know because they're all using nicknames.
Right, Bartolomeo's got like 10. Like what does Sabo call him at one point? Marine Colosseo.
Yeah, muscle
yes,
melon.
yeah, it does.
And there's Roosterhead. And,
yeah.
Everyone's last name is Land.
Bartolomendish.
No, that was just us.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Counts.
Go ahead, dude.
Sure. So as Cavendish prepares to scream down to Bartolomeo to tell him to use his barrier stairs or a starrier, if you want to
Nice.
do a little portmanteau action there. Bartolomeo is still foaming over Zoro's attack on Pika a couple of chapters ago. Still, so
Zoro's still riding high.
Yeah.
Put him down like old Yeller. Jeez.
That's right. In the meantime, the birdcage is still advancing to the center point of Dressrosa. And then we get a little dialogue between Doflamingo and Luffy amongst the flames. Doflamingo says, enough of this nonsense while suffering in his last moments, so we should just put him out of his misery. So Luffy just says, oh, naturally, if that's what you want, over not my dead body,
I like how Doflamingo is kind of just floating in the air, like all...
See, but it makes sense for him to
villain-like.
do that, though. Like, his powers.
He's the villain, but he's like the villain. He's like, tee-hee-hee.
Floating amongst the flames. I can't, I'm hoping the anime does something cool, like with a shot like where he's just kind of rising.
Ha!
Thank you, Edna Krabappel.
Her name is Krabappel? I was saying Cranapple.
Crandall.
It was Crandall.
Crandall, damn it.
Cranapple.
Cranapple.
Someone else calls her Cranapple at one point.
Okay.
Probably.
I think that's the real Seymour Skinners.
Oh,
Skinner's. Did I say Skinner's? Oh god, I'll stop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, dude.
Clearly, Steve isn't a Simpsons fan. So Doflamingo's trying to, grab Luffy back into his pace. He's trying to use his pace attack. It seems to me you've already taken damage. I'm going to monologue at you a little more. And Luffy retorts, same goes for you. Traffy gave you everything that he possibly could. And enough talk, because here comes a hawk bazooka. And
or was it an eagle bazooka? Or
whatever his hockey bazooka.
It's so awesome he doesn't need to announce it.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite attacks.
He's learned at this point, if I announce my attack name, he'll totally see it coming, which we'll get to later in the chapter. So he manages to hit Dofi, and he's a little out of breath.
And
Doflamingo goes flying.
And Doflamingo is really feeling it.
Really feeling it. Your attacks might be fast, but there's no weight behind them. And next page.
Dennis.
And Doflamingo counterattacks with an overheat. I'm pretty sure we don't need to explain that attack. It's been explained so many times already.
But
you
go
fans
ahead.
understand, right?
That was like a year and a half ago.
We still keep getting it. I think they still explain it on the Shonen Jump podcast too.
Yeah, no, it's just overheato.
Yeah. So this attack pretty much wrecks almost whatever is left of the castle. It's like cutting it in half. Luffy barely is able to dodge it like he always does. And while they're in the middle of their battle, Doflamingo has a little kind of like a mini flashback, like, oh, this really takes me back. And we see him talking to Treble about how Crocodile got taken out during Alabasta. And we see his progression going more and more and more.
I like.
But there's a lot of little stuff here.
I like Doflamingo's comments, like by a Navy HQ captain. Lies.
There must be more to this.
And check out Triple Zach. He has your hair from 2010.
Okay, why didn't you just shut up? Do you know what's really scary, Steve? You know what's scary? That there has been multiple people on the Google search results for our site looking up One Piece podcast Katsucon 2010, and they'll see the hair. It's terrible.
We all had hair.
We all have ridiculous hair.
I don't remember, Zach. Did you have a gloop glorpy goop droopy beard too?
That was another time.
Steven, what's this sound effect at the top of that page there when Doflamingo hits him again? That's not one we see very often, is it?
Yeah, I was gonna say the font looks different.
Yeah,
it's just mechie, but with the way that it's written, the meh it kind of looks like a slightly oblong X. So
yeah, or
it's not a very strong attack because you read it like this. Meki.
I thought you were talking about Sabois.
Don't listen. Don't judge me.
or
Yeah. Also, I just want to point out one thing in this flashback, just in case anyone kind of forgot this, is I liked the call out that referring to the Alabasta arc, which was that Smoker was given credit for taking down Crocodile, like nobody knew that Luffy was secretly the one responsible, but Doflamingo sees through that, which I liked.
Yeah,
pretty easily.
In that flashback, he realizes, like, oh, look at this. There's this one crew I don't recognize, and he's got a huge bounty increase. Well,
Doflamingo is also pretty involved in governmental affairs and covert operations, as far as we know. I mean, with CP0 and that mysterious guy in Marineford or wherever the hell that was. So it makes sense. Fits.
Yeah, he's got a knack for dealing in information. We know that.
Oh, right, and he's the head of the underworld. I completely forgot about that.
all underworld.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how as soon as the Punk Hazard arc ends, no one refers to him as Joker anymore.
No, Caesar did until he left.
Oh, he doesn't count.
Actually, you see it crop up a couple times. He's kind of careful to make sure that, like, the only people that call him Joker are the people that should be in that like, I don't figure what they call it, like the Dark Society or the Urashikai. I don't know, Stephen.
The black
market.
Black market. Yeah.
It's just very strange because I've just been rereading the end of Punk Hazard, and like Baby 5 and Buffalo referred to him as Joker. I guess maybe when they're like off
in
of
the field.
Dressrosa and they're on the field, they have to. It's like Batman having to refer to himself as Batman and not being like Bruce. Batman.
I think in the Underground Port they called him Joker pretty consistently. Like,
I was gonna say, Steve, they can't call Batman Joker. That's it's getting all.
Anyway, Dennis, sorry.
And Doflamingo also recalls how Luffy fell out of the sky during the Paramount War and survived that entire battle. And he's, I guess he's sort of praising him and how he came this far, but of course, going to probably meet the end of his fate at his hands is what he's trying to imply.
Yeah, you think I'm that much like Crocodile? Guess what? I'm way stronger. But our plans are kind of similar.
We're kind of the same.
But mine's gonna work.
Well, technically, his already did work. He did take control of the country.
Yeah, he actually had been successful for a decade.
He had Crocodile's plan how many years ago?
Like 10 years ago?
10 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things I've said outside the podcast, but some people will post the similarities between Dressrosa and Alabasta, and sometimes, and I see a lot of it like in a negative tone, but I just look at it as, hey, Dressrosa is what would have happened if Crocodile won. Like, this is what would have happened. This is what Alabasta would turned into. So I think it's kind of like a unique take on it. So I don't mind the similarities at all.
If you're interested, this is actually one of the topics for one of my upcoming articles on OnePiece.com. So do check it out.
And they're in English.
Yeah. Which is fortuitous that I'm doing this now because it's my page. Okay. So Luffy is kind of knocked down here, but he snags himself back up, and everyone's just looking up, and we get a panel that is probably going to live in fangirl fanfiction history. Cavendish holding a broken law. I'm not even going to dignify that with anything more than just that silence there. So we got to the next panel on the next page. Wait.
You could just hear me fanning myself.
That's what that was? Go ahead, Greg.
Well, actually, I will. That's going to be in my Game of Thrones One Piece fanfic. Yeah. Treferian. So, you're awake, Trafalgar. Yeah, so Trafalgar's back among the world, and he's asking to be put down and to be left behind. And here we get again this number, this 13 years. He's saying that he's been around these 13 years only because he wanted to strike down Doflamingo, and he's done everything that he could. And this is really cool. I don't know. I think this line also gets it across. So bravo to Stephen. But he's revealing here that he trusts the Straw Hats, and he says, the rest is in the Straw Hats' hands. If he's going to win, then I want to, see it. We see here that all of his, which he's been holding up for quite some time now, this kind of tough front in front of Luffy, this, we're no longer together, this kind of joint crew that we have going on is finished. We see here that he really does trust Luffy. Obviously he did to an extent to bring him here, but it's been some time since he told, was it like back in volume 73, where he said, I just used Luffy. I just used him to get here, and he doesn't need to be honest with Cavendish, but he's being honest with him. So that was a really cool line. I did enjoy that because that reveals something about him. And he says that if he's going to lose here, then I ought to be. I guess he completely ruins this. Then I ought to be killed along with him. I guess it should just die or something.
It does fit his.
If it's
yeah. He's pretty cocky.
Debbie Downer law.
He's Eeyore law.
I guess I'll die.
Wait, the arm is like his tail?
Oh my god. Alex, come on.
Pin the arm back on law.
Come on.
Who would be Pooh?
I don't know. All I know is your Pooh. Come on, man.
Hello, my name's Kiros. I used to have a leg, but now I only have one. Hey, Law. What happened to your arm? Shouldn't you have one on your bottom?
No. I should have it where my arm socket is.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm afraid I'm not up on medical technology or anatomy in any way. I'm just a silly old bear. gladiator.
Okay, Ed. Follow that.
Yeah. So Law is feeling guilty about involving Luffy in this fight in the first place, and Robin's like, "Shut up." That's how alliances work.
Shit.
Luffy came up here on his own. He's not just here because of you. But kind of he is. But he's made his own decision. And he begs Cavendish to leave him there. And Cavendish he concedes it. He's like, I can't convince you not to do that. So Nico Robin, go ahead. And she's sort of surprised at Cabbage at this point. Yeah, you can't let him die first. If you die today, it'll be after me, Cavendish says to Law. So he's going to protect him. And Bartolomeo has made the stairs, and we can hear him from down there going, Miss Robin. And
Lisa. March.
I'm just waiting for you to mess up this Simpsons reference.
I'm just really surprised. This is such a change of colors for Cavendish here.
I feel like Cavendish has been kind of putting up. I want to call it a front, but
Cavendish has a lot of honor. It was shown back in the Coliseum, like when he stood up for Rebecca. Yeah. So I think I don't know. Maybe it's to benefit him, just because I don't think he wants to made look a fool in front of Law. It's like, oh wow, this Law guy.
I think he actually has a heart in there somewhere.
Yeah.
People get that way towards the end of fights, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think having, if you let Cavendish with his split personality thing stay there, it's kind of like leaving the baby with the dingo, right? Like if they're all going.
Good point.
Well, as we see on the next page, though, Cavendish gives Robin his jacket because he has seen that she is wounded on the back of her arm.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that. I didn't quite get that. I thought Robin was just like, oh, yeah, I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding very badly.
I mean, she is, but...
And we see that Leo and Manishri are sort of nodding in agreement. I think that means they're going to stay with Cavendish.
No, I think that means that they're going to fix Robin up a little.
Oh, it means you're gonna fix Law up a little.
Yeah, they
should
should attach that arm first.
Yeah.
Or put it on ice or something. I mean,
you see, the only reason I thought it was more directly related to. I mean, they already said they were going to do the Law thing. This I think is to fix Robin, just because they're kind of in silence, and Rebecca and Kyros also don't know what happened to Robin or what she necessarily did to protect them. Because remember, she kind of kept up that.
Well, yeah, it's exactly how she got injured.
Right, but they don't know that, is what I was... Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So back up at the top of the palace, and the ruins at the top there, we see wide shot, big Grizzly Magnum arms going back, and Luffy launches the Gum Gum Grizzly Magnum, and Doflamingo sweeps out of the way.
I just want to say I really like I don't know if I want to call it direction, but like how this attack is laid out, where you kind of just see it from a distance and then super close up.
Yeah, I like that sound effect, but he gets out of the way. It's just Luffy hitting the air with his Grizzly Magnum.
Steve.
We pan out as we see the Grizzly Magnum just destroy more of the palace. And then we get like typical anime fighting game dialogue from Doflamingo. It's like, you're wide open, as he knees.
Well, I like also on the top page that you could see him like skipping over to Luffy. zipping over to Luffy.
Zipping to his loo.
You can say that.
Zip to my loo.
Doflamingo then gives him a good kashang kick, sending him spiraling down. It's like, hey, you're not going to let everything that Law's done like go to waste, huh? And when exactly you're going to beat me? And here we go. We're going.
Hold on. Before can I just say something about Doflamingo's kick here? He's looking down, and his foot and leg are like almost a 90-degree angle to his neck, and I'm like, this must be like a magic body.
No, that actually works.
But that's his right leg. It's like reaching all the way across his body. Anyway.
You could
It's
do
very
that.
flexible.
He's a flexible guy, and he's hovering in midair. So
Yeah, he's flying. So
Because
Maybe I'm getting upset over nothing.
yes.
I think that's just an Oda style for drawing very. You get the idea that it's supposed to be a very powerful kick.
yeah.
It's straight out there, boom, straight out, and I guess it gets that point across.
And clearly, Luffy isn't happy about the kick, or he's injured. It hurt him, is what I'm saying. Go ahead. Sorry.
But now we're getting to dangerous DBZ territory when he says the 1 hour limit is the amount of time until the birdcage closes entirely. As we see Luffy feeling the effects from that kick, lying on the ground as Doflamingo kind of floats down. It's like some of them are hobbled. There's also bedridden elderly, as we see some guy in a crutch, and his girl is helping him out, and some
Daughter, I can't tell. Like,
Steven, you can't say what that guy's shirt says behind the crutch guy, do you?
Yes, it says you can't really read it here. You have to zoom in
yeah.
on the original image, but
well,
it says
you could zoom it on ShonenJump.com.
no. I'm just saying you can't really see it necessarily at this resolution, but it says "Sewa no Yakeru," which means it's not like a pain in the ass, but it's like Jesus is a lot of work because he's carrying the guy on his back, so he's just like, oh Jesus, load on my back, sort of thing.
Oh man,
You can also read that in my column.
Yeah, that's right. I love that Oda's been doing that. Like that's such a cool thing to do.
I like it better than his the lines T-shirt. Like he's considering them one and the same, but these are I think it's I don't know they break the fourth wall less or something.
Because he had
it just feels better.
He was doing that in Fishman Island, where he was literally just pasting the lines of dialogue that people were saying in that panel onto the shirts. And here, at least it's something different, or it's something that is explaining their mindset rather than just cribbing right from the dialogue.
Also, kind of cool here is you get the idea that people are really working together. I go into this a little bit more depth in the column, but like even some of the nasty people, like you see a guy there who's obviously a ruffian helping out the children.
Well, another guy is carrying a treasure chest.
Well, yeah, you got like assholes.
Well,
too, right?
someone had to carry the treasure chest. The treasure chest would have got caught up in the birdcage.
Am I just gonna leave it there? It's a Jewish pirate.
You want? No, I don't mean anything. You want? I should just leave the treasure chest behind.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of valuables in there. No, pretty much, Doflamingo is focusing on what you shouldn't focus on. Like, like when Pika transformed into huge Pika. When you think about it, it's like, a lot of people probably died when that happened. But you don't want to think about it because it's not happy. That's what like Doflamingo was like, hey, not everyone's gonna make it. He's like, who will be the first victim? Even there's some babies. He. It's like within 30 minutes, the dead will begin to mount somewhere or another. After 40 minutes, you'll be able to hear the screaming from here. By the 50-minute mark, the land will be red as a flattened tomato.
I like to imagine it as the haunted house voice from The Simpsons. Just stop saying all these awful things to my family.
Oh, I thought you meant hit boo exit to your left. That one.
The voice
the world's
of
worst.
the
James Earl Jones.
Is that James Earl Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah. Should get Doflamingo to be voiced by James Earl Jones.
Yeah, let's get on that. That's Steve. You can finish up.
This is DNN.
What?
Just Rosa News Network.
Oh, okay.
Thank you for whoever snorted at that. It's just like an hour from now, there will be no more voices because everyone will be dead. But it's like, but I'm sure that means nothing to you. I can't wait to see how long an hour will take in One Piece land.
I can't.
Surely it won't take 16 episodes.
Greg, you want to finish this off?
Well, it's going to take a little bit longer because he's still gone. And then we get his final kick in the pants. The dead will curse you as they leave the mortal coil.
I'm pretty sure you're the one who made the birdcage.
That's what I was thinking too. I'm like,
I read this line. I'm like, no, you're you're silly.
It's a cool looking panel. You get like Luffy's shirt blowing in the wind there too.
Are those still the flames from the treble explosion?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's all over the place.
Well, I mean, otherwise that could be someone else.
I gave I give Trip a lot of credit though. He made the scenery for this fight much cooler.
Yeah, he did.
He really did.
Yeah, he did.
At least he did something right.
Yeah.
So, he continues, if only you hadn't come here, Dressrosa would still be at peace. Okay, all right. Sure. The peace of the Colosseum and the people calling for blood and
killing me will never bring you peace.
Yeah. You liar. It's all a sham. And here we get the light and the darkness here, are polar extremes. Luffy's remembering man, I'm sorry. I'm going to go into a little bit of diatribe here, but it's kind of cool how Luffy always gathers just a little bit of what's going on in a situation, right? So he's been running around this entire time doing crazy stuff, jumping off buildings, participating in the Colosseum. He knows he has what he had to do with Law originally, what his whole mission was there. But really, he's only talked to a few people about what's going on in this town, and he knows very little, which is typically Luffy. So what does he recall at this point? He recalls the fighters at the Colosseum, the slave fighters, the gladiators, and who are saying, that the light and the darkness here are polar extremes. And then Viola's all the toys in this kingdom were originally human. And he, typically Luffy again, has something pretty deep to say. It's very simple, but you can read a lot into it. Doflamingo goes on, he. Okay. Steve, I forget.
That's how we do it.
Okay, yeah. Right.
It's very nasally.
Yeah.
Yes, you'll be very dead soon.
Not Krusty the Clown.
No, that was Zorak.
That was Zorak. How does Doflamingo Zorak sound? Might as well get this sound.
No. Let's finish this page.
Yeah, we're almost
I
done.
want to hear it.
We'll play later.
Later, Steve.
Yeah, we'll
Does
play.
the passing pirate fancy himself a hero now? Stop getting in my way. And then Luffy, who is, of course, not a hero, says, no, you're the one in my way. And there we get the title, In My Way. You made my friends cry, and you made my friends mad, and you still won't go down. So I'm taking it all on myself, Goku. I won't let any of them die. And you and your cage are in my way. Gear 4.
Oh shit!
I made Hank Hill noises when I read this. Oh!
Next week.
My hands went up at the office, pushed back from my desk. Everybody stopped and was like, what just happened? I was like, One Piece. They're like,
No,
okay,
Greg threw his arms up in the air and went, woo! And someone's like, no talking.
You're in a library.
Oh man, this is a great ending. I got a sense this was coming.
Yeah, we did talk about this.
And recently we're speculating, and I hadn't thought of it before. So if I didn't see some fans tweeting about it, I would have been completely, just been.
I mean, are people who tweet spoilers really fans? But
no, not spoilers. People were speculating.
okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the Piece Together segment.
Because I kind of honestly, I kind of forgotten about second gear and third gear and all that stuff. It's
yeah, I mean, it's been a very long time. It's been like 400 chapters.
It's been 9 years.
Yeah.
I really like this setup. I kind of like the blank panel of just just blackness and kind of just you're focusing on the word, for. That's the big thing. It's kind of like it's a Bleach panel. Which,
Yeah, it is.
Oda's been using a lot more recently, but remember that chapter we did years ago for Bleach for the our first April Fool's?
Black and white, yeah.
That was every single panel was just the thoughts, and it annoyed me to no end. It was like fucking, I thought it was the fucking Jim Davis drawing this fucking comic, just not drawing panels here and there. But like Oda's been using a little bit more, but he's using it effectively. Like he used it recently when we all thought Law was dead, and
I thought it was really well done.
Saw Chambres or whatever he said. I forget, but you heard Law's attack, and it was like drop the mic dubstep kicks in for some reason, that kind of moment. It was really cool. This is an awesome cliffhanger.
Greg, what did you think? I mean, besides what you said, yeah.
Besides throwing up my hand, I didn't expect it at all. I didn't expect him to go the route of the gears unless he had a really, really good idea, like something that he really wanted to show everyone. I thought if he was, we knew something new with Luffy was coming up, right? He can't just go from A to B without some kind of level up or something. And to continue the gear line shows that he has something really good planned, and I'm so excited to see what it is. I'm so hyped, and this is such a typical Oda way to finish off a chapter,
and take a week off.
And take a week off.
Jesus Christ!
And leave the speculation. I'm really excited. I'm so hyped.
Dennis.
One Piece, the Blue Balls manga. I remember like years ago when we were in Thriller Bark, and when Luffy combined Gear 2 and 3, and there was a whole bunch of like forum speculation, like, oh, is this 4? Is this actually 4? Like, well, no, they didn't say it was 4. It was just like a blend of the techniques, whatever. And I do have to, thankfully, one of my friends actually warned me what was coming up, because yes, I do have friends who don't subscribe to Shonen Jump, but he was nice not to actually tell me what it was. He was like, well, when you read it Monday, something cool happens, and left it at that. Like, all right, I'll wait for when the chapter comes out.
And then you stayed away from the internet.
Pretty much. I was only like, oh, Daredevil, I'll watch that, and keep my mind off like One Piece things. And this weekend was especially good about that. So yeah, coming to this, holy crap! Just like what Greg said, I did not think that they were going to continue the whole like gear line of powering up, Yeah. So, and there are so many other cool things in the chapter too, as well. Like the fight and stuff going on, the callbacks from Doflamingo. I'm also wondering with Luffy's positioning for activating Gear 4, how it's going to factor in.
Yeah, that was the big question that was coming to my mind. Why the arm in front of the face? I feel like plays some sort of significance.
Definitely a hint.
Yeah, because what we had with Gear 3, it was the thumb in the mouth.
Thumb in the mouth.
Mm-hmm. Steven, is it even more fun for you with this chapter because you with the the extra week you don't know what's happening next yet?
Yeah, and when I saw when I saw this chapter first, and you get, it's like the double whammy of like, oh, he's doing Gear 4 and One Piece is off next week. That wasn't like a mic drop. That was like throwing a mic off a cliff or something like that.
Like throwing the mic through the
and
stage.
You could just hear the dubstep kick in faintly as it falls.
We don't need dubstep.
Not dubstep. It's that like it happens in all the trailers. It goes boom.
Oh, you mean the Inception noise? Wow.
I'm still thinking of dubstep, like mind fuck kind of thing.
Optimus Prime farting and rapping at the same time.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Dude, what did you think of the chapter overall?
Well, yeah, go, dude, go.
I liked it. It was great. Let's have some more of it. I was not expecting Gear 4 to like ever be a thing. I thought that he might have moved past that or something, and now I'm pretty excited. I'm sure we'll talk about this at length. I figured that we would talk about it at length, but as for what Gear 4 could be,
we'll talk about it at length.
Yeah. Although he's putting his hand up to his arm, so maybe Gear 4 is making a heart sound like. and then the fight will be over next chapter because Doflamingo will be doubled over laughing.
Yes. Yes. Only you would kill this moment for me.
I see if that happens, Joe Flamingo's like, I'm done with this shit. I'm getting the hell out of here.
But Zach, before he does that, then he licks his arm and goes gear 5th, and then he makes an even worse fart sound.
Is that how he's gonna beat Doflamingo? Like making him laugh like a baby? Oh, who's that? Oh, who's that?
Well, I think we've lost all of our listeners.
And Doflamingo's just like, ha 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 ha. And then I don't know. He just like Benjamin Buttons turns back into a baby, and then I don't know. Babality. Luffy wins.
Stephen, did you have any more thoughts?
Yeah, I will say, just on the critical end that, and actually I did talk about this a little bit with Greg before we recorded, that while I really like the image of the bird cage and the kind of the use of it as a symbol of menace and like a big kind of set piece thing, I really did not like the whole monologue just before the ending where he does like, oh, it's going to be an hour until I finish this thing. Like, it's just like the most Dr. Evil, like, here's the extremely slow laser.
Why can't Don Quixote Scott just come in? Like, why don't you just close the birdcage now? It'll kill everyone in an instant. I'm just going to close it in an hour and just assume everything will go to plan.
Zip it.
I have a gun in my room.
Yeah.
Actually, Don Quixote would all be for like a gun. He'd be like, ooh, bring that.
The thing is, Doflamingo, and we've been saying this since this arc started in 2013, that he's always been the typical villain, and this completely fits him. I have a devil fruit that I'm going to put in a box, and no one will get it, but it'll taunt Luffy, and he'll lose probably, and everything will be fine.
I still don't get why he put up a really strong Logia up for a freaking Coliseum battle.
Robert Logia?
And strapped it to the back of a giant
Robert
fish.
Logia, sorry. I keep switching back between Logia and Logia.
Who says Logia?
I don't know. Somebody? Anybody?
I'm genuinely curious.
I heard Logia. I've heard Logia.
Anyway, Steve, what did you think of this chapter?
It was good. I think, like, of course, like the latter half of it is much better than the beginning. I found the fight panels to be a little hard to follow sometimes. There's a lot of knee strikes. I don't think it's as solid as the previous chapter when they're kind of having like the Film Z hockey battle. I really like Law's moment here. Law just keeps having moments, but it's very fitting. I think it would be unlike Law to retreat. I think he has a lot of great reasoning for what he did in this chapter. But other than that, I kind of have to scoff a little bit at the whole 1 hour time limit thing. Like Doflamingo's only shooting himself in the foot with that, but I guess that's just Doflamingo for you. He always has these plans that just blow up in his face, so I guess it only makes sense. But I'm really hyped about Gear 4. I'm curious to see what that's gonna be. I think it's well, when you think about it,
are we all going to talk about?
Yeah, I was going to say, why don't we transition into this? So let's go around in this, I think, the same order we started in. Greg, what do you think Gear 4 can be, will be, should be?
I don't know. I was wondering if he might, because it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be, like I said earlier, it's definitely something that he's been working on for a long time that he's wanted to show people. So it's probably gonna be a little bit stupid. Like it might, like most things in One Piece, it might look a little bit dumb, but whatever it's going to react, whatever it's going to have as an ability is going to be awesome.
Greg, I mean, like, Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd are like two of the things that didn't look that way, though. Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd were always super badass.
No, Gear 3rd looked weird, I think.
Looked weird.
Yeah.
I think it looked weird.
Okay.
And,
I don't know. Gear.
Not only, hold on, and how did he finish Gear 3rd, right? Like, he doesn't have that weakness now, but he ended up being like this tiny little thing, right? So I'm wondering what its drawback is going to be, because it's got to have a drawback. Why he didn't just, trounce Hody with this or anything. And
Well, I mean, it was Hoden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I mean, he could have basically. I mean, like if it's this big, if it's this cool, like he could have just been like, "Oh, Fishman Island, done." So I'm really wondering what the drawback is going to be, because that makes it interesting from a storytelling point, right? If it makes dangerous, I don't know. I was writing an article about Gear Second and how that was supposed to like drain away his life. Lucci, something that Lucci said. So I'm wondering what that is, and I don't know. I was wondering what if he almost looks like something like Gear Third. What if he like combines, he stretches, or like he stretches himself into this really just little tiny bit of power. And
Wouldn't it be
it's
cool
like,
if he had like armament hockey on his whole body at that too? Like he's a giant, he's a giant inflated Luffy, but shiny black because of hockey.
You see, Ed, when we started the podcast, I think Gear Fourth was the thing that we were talking about.
That you were talking about?
That I was talking about.
This is your theory. I mean,
accurate.
I mean, I never thought of that until you said it.
Well, I mean, my whole theory about it is it has to be a property. It has to be some sort of property of rubber, where you have Gear Third is the stretchability, the inflatability of rubber. Gear Second is the ability to speed it up by throwing hot air into it or whatever. My theory at the time had been vulcanization, but I feel like armament hockey kind of fulfills that. I mean, there's a lot of ways. Yes, I was Wikipediaing rubber earlier today, but there's a lot of ways to harden rubber, to solidify it. I mean, I think of you could have rubber like a rubber band, you could have rubber like a tire, you could have rubber like like an eraser or whatever it is. You know, there's different consistencies. There's different. What I see as the drawback, Greg, just thinking about the properties of rubber, is that maybe the stretchability is less possible. But he has the whole thing he's been hinting here is, and what we've been seeing is that he hasn't really been able to get, you know, a pretty powerful punch in. And maybe it's something that increases his strength. Is what I was.
You know, I'm wondering, actually, now that you speak about just about Oda's, I guess, policy with power. Like, how does power look cool? What's look cool? And we've seen this for some time now. It's been increasing as the series goes on. But everything that he thinks looks cool or powerful is big, which is like the exact opposite of everything that Akira Toriyama does. Everything that Akira Toriyama does, things get smaller. They just get smaller and smaller and smaller, because Toriyama's theory, I actually talked about his editor with this, is that power, when it's kind of compressed, is more threatening because it's more volatile, because you've got more energy. This is actually the same in the real world, right? When you've got a gas and you compress the gas, it's more active. The molecules are more active.
Like a giant red star versus like a dwarf star, which has a lot more power in a lot smaller space. Yeah.
So that's Toriyama's theory, whereas Oda's theory seems to be that power equals fuck off big and fuck off strong. So when you say like making his entire body Gear Third with hockey, that's actually a really good point, and that is right up his alley. So
that would make sense.
Interesting.
Yeah, I could see that.
Very good observation, Ed.
Well, plus we saw Virgo use the full body armament hockey, and
did Luffy see that?
Bodies.
I really like.
No,
I'm glad Greg came on your take, because I kind of had the mindset of badass, well, Zach too. I'll give you credit, but thinking more of a comical kind of thing. Well, it's not. Gear Second and Gear Third aren't quite comical, but they're still kind of in the realm of One Piece. But hey, they're badass, but with like with a catch. It's so hard, because hockey now has become like such a big staple that it just makes things a little complicated. I wonder what exactly this will be.
Well, Greg brought up a point. Toriyama's way versus Oda's, but I'm thinking maybe Oda will dip into the Tramwell a little bit. Doflamingo mentioned something in this chapter saying your attacks might be fast, but there's no weight behind them. Now, what Gear Second does is it makes Luffy faster overall. And what Gear Third does is, it inflates him, giving him more mass. What Gear Fourth could do, it could give him more weight, more power.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring.
But condensed, like a rubber mallet.
But yeah, that's why I was thinking along the lines of like, a tire is very powerful. It's able to withstand a lot.
Sure.
But it's not stretchable. It's not
right. Now on the other hand, this also brings up something that Greg mentioned a couple of years ago when we were doing Fishman Island, and there was that color spread. It cuts like a knife, that one.
Yeah.
And Greg was, throwing out, a suggestion that, how weed whackers are made of rubber.
Right, it cuts like a weed whacker.
That's right. Mm. Well, so maybe...
Got some strings.
Maybe, that's right. Why do you got to cut those strings? I want to see something bad as fuck, like maybe that, towards the end of this chapter, that view of the birdcage enveloping Dressrosa. How about that entire birdcage just fucking... The entire top is just sliced right off because of some major attack that Luffy did.
I like that. And
then all the strings just fall to the wayside, and Doflamingo is just flabbergasted. I don't know.
Should we add a spoiler alert to Dude's analysis here?
I really like that. I think Dude wins this week.
Yeah. Congrats, Dude. You win. I don't actually have anything to give you.
Well, you haven't heard my idea yet.
Uh-oh. Steven?
So we've seen... Should I go first because mine is not in any way serious at all? So that way we can get Steven super serious.
Do you have to bother?
Well, go ahead.
Dude is
like...
Yeah, maybe Dude should have gone last. I don't know.
Go ahead, Steven. We've seen Luffy get inspiration, from various things for his power-ups and his new attacks. So I think he's going to get some inspiration from his old friend Buggy, and he's going to turn himself into a race car and run over Doflamingo. That's my idea.
Oh, boy. Beep, beep.
I'm guessing that's Steve or Greg clapping. Whatever. Dennis.
Does that mean Doflamingo is going to fall off the edge of a cliff? And just...
It's like Fast and Furious.
Yes.
From skyscraper to skyscraper.
Just like Fast and Furious, Luffy lives for this shit.
Hey, it's all about family.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I've never thought of all the similarities between
Next
Fast
week,
and the Furious.
Special podcast segment, the similarities between the Fast and Furious and One Piece.
Yeah, Luffy's kind of...
It's all about family. It's all about family.
Law is just like The Rock from Fast and the Furious. This saved my career.
Dennis, what was your theory?
Mine was also going to be jokey. I was thinking that with Luffy not having his weakness for Gear 3, that Gear 4 would be the evolution of said weakness. So, like you're already talking about, he was going to be compact and small, so it's going to be a little chibi Luffy. That's Gear 4.
Oh, I see. Well, if we're dipping into the joke well, another property of rubber is latex. And Gear 4th is a condom.
No.
And one of the drawbacks to condoms is that sometimes they break. So that's it. He's just going to try to
think that one all the way through, did you?
He's just going to try to solve the STD that is Don Quixote do Flamingo, aka DD. Yeah, that was easy.
Okay.
Before we go, I wanted to talk a little bit about Cavendish and Law in this chapter. I think yeah, I do actually, because I think Cavendish is an interesting situation.
That?
No, I'm talking about Cavendish's pride. Cavendish is a very prideful man, and I think that usually that comes off as sort of being really egotistical and really, I don't know, kind of fake about it. But I think he's sort of being inspired by the loyalty that Luffy is showing, and he's got to, even if he doesn't really feel it like genuinely, he's so determined to not be shown up again that he's going to put his life on the line to defend Law and protect him, just because I can't let Luffy outshine him, and also with the clicking gears in his head, Luffy is just going to be more popular than me. It's just gonna happen. But I need to do this. I need to do this to maintain.
You're giving him too much credit. I feel like there.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fine.
Well, actually, I like that you brought him up, because this just segues nicely into something that I wanted to bring up. Is that we now have Cavendish, Kuros. Kuros is heading for the stairs, but he's still up there, and Law. on that top platform, and who were the people that were discussing? My grudge with Law goes back 10 years, or my grudge with Law, my grudge with Doflamingo goes back 10 years. My grudge with him goes back 13 years. My grudge with him goes back 33 years. I don't know how long it was. Luffy said something ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're all together now. Basically, they're in the same location, and we've also got Leo there as well. Leo there as well. So, interesting combination.
They all have big grudges.
I'm just saying that. I'm just saying. Yeah. Interesting. We've got them all there.
That is very interesting. Any final thoughts beyond that?
Just pointing out that when Cavendish is holding Law up like that in his arms, in Japanese, that is known as Hime-sama Dakko, which means like the princess hold or something like that. So Law's the princess.
I knew it. Greg, I'm guessing you have to duck out after this. Is there anything you want to mention to people, where they can find you, what you're up to?
You know me. I'm doing my stuff. If you read my articles at onepiece.com, that'd be really cool. That's one-piece.com. And it's in the special section with a star on it. And you can look for my beautiful face with a chopper hat.
But what about the specials? You were one of them.
What? What about the specials?
Thank you. So, Greg, thanks for coming on. I wish we could have you on more. I know that the schedules are hard to mesh together, but thank you for coming on, Greg.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Okay.
I thought the fun was that way.
This is the anime recap for episode 688, A Desperate Situation. Luffy gets caught in a trap.
We're getting
It's a trap. It's a trap.
We're getting close to episode 700.
Caught in a trap.
Yeah.
See, I'm trapped like
Can't walk
a
out.
cage.
Ed, why don't you?
All right, so only 5.5 minutes of recap this week. So,
Well, we have a new opening, like a newer opening, so I actually watched through everything. And I forget, I usually just skip to the new stuff.
Yeah.
I forget how freaking long it is to watch the opening, and then that little prologue thing, and then the...
and I know we're not doing a Toonami recap this week, and we're going to do a triple one next week, but this week's Toonami episode had 7 minutes, 15 seconds.
Yeah, we're going to do
the title card.
We're going to do a Toonami marathon.
Man.
Yeah, there was the Nami end of the Nami Khalifa thing. They showed the entire thing that happened at the end.
I caught it. I was watching it, and at that point, I was like, I forget. Is this the episode or the recap?
That's how they get you. That's how they get you, Steve.
That's how they get you.
Yeah. So we start the episode with Moosey is running fast and just wrecking schmucks all over the place. And they're really bad at showing the action here.
Well, let me...
Moosey kicks the air, and then schmucks like nowhere near him go flying. They show him doing like his cow kick, and he's just kicking a dust cloud.
No, it's fine. Moosey just knows the force kick.
I guess.
I mean, if I could summarize this episode before we even get started, it would be, it looks great, but nothing happens.
I was really comparing it negatively to like what I saw with the Toonami episode this week, where the martial arts fight between Luffy and Lucci had like coherence. It was a coherent, choreographed fight. Like you can see, like people are getting punched, and people are like things that are happening are make sense from like the fight that is happening. But it just bugs me.
Physics.
Yeah. And hey, Cabbage is here, and he's got a megaphone. He's going to yell at Luffy a little bit. He's like, I'm going first. And then Moosey chases after him with Luffy, Law, Abdullah, and Jeet in tow still. They're still there.
Not for much longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we waste
How
them.
are they helping, literally?
Then for the next 2 minutes, we have the Rogues Gallery appearances. Hyruden and Idio and Orlumbus and Bluegilly and Sai all have to take out some people, and that takes about 2 minutes out of the episode. But then we see that the schmucks have started to aim for Moosey, so he's just sort of jumping all over the place with his... he's a cow, he's just jumping all over the place. But then we see the Funk Brothers are back now, too. Luffy,
You guys remember the Funk Brothers.
Yeah, Luffy completely forgotten about them.
But whose side are they on?
Well, they seem to be on Luffy's side because they're giving him a shortcut.
They do not...
Good.
In the manga, you're like, maybe they are. In the anime, you're like, there's no freaking way.
In the
that they
manga,
help him.
I never had a second thought that they would be like that they weren't helping Luffy out.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I had it was after it was after I read the chapter. I remember because I did the manga recap with you that night. I remember. I think it was Josh that brought up. It's like, oh, that damn Kelly Funk. I was like, what do you mean? Oh, he duped him.
Next, we have a little sort of a quiet conversation between Law and Luffy. And Law, he really wants his handcuffs off because otherwise he's going to die if he doesn't get them off. He's useless without his powers. And but Luffy is like, it'll work out. And then Law is never too exhausted or beaten down for Japanese comic reactions. He's the perpetually frustrated straight man to Luffy's funny man. It's the traditional two-man Japanese comedy team.
It's almost as if we're the original Odd Couple.
Yeah, even in his state, he's still making faces and
Go on.
Yeah, so Law he's concerned about the entrance to the shortcut. He's like, this doesn't seem quite right. But everyone charges in anyway, and Abdullah and Jeet hit their heads. Whackety schmackety do.
Whackety schmackety indeed.
At least they're finally gone, though.
Yeah.
And then Luffy gets a call from Robin. He answers the phone like he always does. Hey, I'm Luffy. I'm a man who's going to be king of the pirates.
I love that is his... it's like when you have a secretary who's like, this is blah, 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 and it's blah, blah, blah speaking. And for Luffy, it's, this is Luffy, man who's going to be king of the pirates. How may I direct your call?
But they have a plan to get the key to them, and Bartolomeo is so excited. His face during that is just great.
Those were the best faces.
They were great faces.
Yes. So much fun. Anyway, Tontada Airlines snapping to action or not.
This was the crux of the problem I had with this episode.
Extra stalling in this.
There
scene.
was so
Ad
much.
break.
They didn't even try. They're like, okay, we're gonna first have a still of Leo and Cub just staring into the sky. What is this? What are we doing here? And then stare at the sky for what must have been at least 15 to 20 seconds. Just sky. And then they cut back, and then they go to commercial, and then they cut back.
Well, no, there's a brief scene before the ad break with Kelly Funk, or the Funk brothers.
Right, yeah.
They're like basically twirling their mustaches a little bit.
But whose side are they on?
Oh, fuck off. They're not on Luffy's side.
Zach, who has time to look at the sky? Look at the size of those Magumbos.
Not yet.
No, it did start here.
The story of the second half of this episode is the fact that I can forget sometimes. It goes to the back of my mind how badly women are drawn in the anime these days, but episodes like this just put it in my face. I'm like, jeez, the gravity does not apply. These things are basically...
Well, what annoyed me is that I thought it was very well drawn, this episode, in general. And also, spoiler alert, we get a little male fan service later. So I'm like, okay, it's not as much of objectification as just these are really perverted animators this week.
I'm not sure if half of them have ever seen a woman naked.
That's the problem. I think we need
it's not just pervy. It's just for fuck's sake. I know Oda's design for these female characters doesn't make a lick of sense.
It's not a lot to start with.
I think we need to start.
But holy crap! I think at least there's a form to it. But God, remember that we used it for an episode. Remember that it was towards the end of Fishman Island with Robin, who pretty much had I don't know. She was smuggling a couple pumpkins, in her chest. That's what it looked like. It's for fuck's sake. Yes, I know these animators get paid like shit. They got to get through these drawings quickly.
It's a bad thing when Violet's breasts are the most normal ones in the entire episode.
We need to start an Indiegogo to get all of these animators onto Match.com so they could, or whatever, just an opportunity.
How about Indiegogo just give
some for some porn?
It's not even it's just, it's so
My problem isn't
They don't
that
work
it's
that way.
My problem isn't that it's fan servicey. It's fine. Fan servicey.
It's not
is fine.
even attractive.
It's just weird. It doesn't. They're not. It's not physically possible.
It can't
I
be
think is
fan
the
service if it
problem.
doesn't turn me on.
Wait, Ed, you're the arbiter of fan service now.
I have the correct opinion.
Running theme. This is my way of saying. I know people have harped on us for saying this before, but no, I will stand by what I say. The one thought that goes through my head is just when I see them drawn like this, I just think, oh, I can't wait to. I already feel secondhand embarrassment for what the American voice actors, what probably goes through their heads when they're like, oh, okay, this is my next scene, and oh yeah, that's what my character.
Okay, this is Funimation. Funimation has done, I think, worse boobage than this.
Matt, what Master of Martial Arts, the exploding clothes show?
Yes, and then there's the more recent one.
I'm gonna be the strongest in the world.
Exactly.
You know what? Well, I stand corrected, but at least I thought, no, not One Piece. No, not you too.
Yeah.
One Piece will never get close to the exploding
my
clothes.
character had depth. No, okay. Robin, we've been through so much with that.
Poor Stephanie Young in the booth thinking that.
So back to Tontata Airlines.
I don't want to speak for anyone. I feel secondhand embarrassment because I'm like, yeah, your character looks like that this episode.
It's not the fan service that bothers me. It's that it doesn't make any fucking sense.
So some people have mentioned that. Oh yeah, there was some Frankie fan service. Not enough of
that's not attractive either.
Yeah, but not enough.
I didn't need to see that.
But there wasn't enough of it for me to even notice it was a thing.
No, it was a pretty. Well, we'll get to that. Ed, go ahead.
All right, so no one actually thinks this Tontata Airlines plan is going to work, but Leo is very serious. Just grab onto those strings, and the pilot and Riku have a little side exchange. They're like, "Do you know that they had these?" Like, no, I had no idea they had these things. Even the royalty doesn't always know everything.
Well, he's been kind of underground lately. It makes sense.
Yeah, but they had a friendly relationship when he was king.
Yes.
But so the plan actually works. Yeah, but once they take off, like, I don't know, the women's body is just not.
It's weird because I thought this episode was actually animated pretty well, and the problem that I had with Fishman is that it was so absurd, and it was also really poorly animated, and the art was terrible. Also, it's just that picture, that the titillating trash and twins or something, the titillating tale of trash and twins or whatever we called that episode. That is just ridiculous. This was very ridiculous, mostly with Robin and Rebecca, I think.
No, Senor Pink's groupies.
Senor Pink's groupies didn't strike me as absurdly odd. Also, I care a little less if they're.
Well, they just wear the bikinis that the
do not support
bikinis
them
that
at all.
Covered about.
But those exist. I've seen
the
Kate Upton
bikinis that barely cover the nipples.
They look like they just strap them to their chest.
But that also fits those characters. I mean, that's what those characters are wearing. I mean, I think it fits for that.
I guess, but that's totally not the excuse. I just imagine someone goes, I wanted to draw the boobies.
Well, that's more likely what's happening.
I don't know. That's my fucking opinion, and I'm going to stand by it. I don't care. I think it just looks trashy.
I don't think anyone's disagreeing with you.
No. And then someone's going, and then, yes, I know Nami has Flash characters before, but, I wish she was like, "Oh, you're going to pay me for it." I don't know.
Ed, what's
Japan?
Next?
Japan. It's weird. It's
Senor Pink and Frankie. They're still fighting. Senor is just swimming all over the place. Swim.
It was great.
That was really funny. I like that. Yeah.
I was dying. I thought
he sneaks up behind him and he puts Frankie in the bow and arrow. Romero special, right there. And we see some cyborg.
Oh my god! I like how Senor Pink has just become this ode to Japanese professional wrestling. Even more in the anime, I guess, because I don't remember him putting in this hold in the manga. Yeah. Could be wrong.
So he taunts Frankie and sucks on his pacifier a little bit. And we see the Wicca and the other Tontatas are looking on, and they have an idea. We'll see what that is next week, probably. So back to the Zoro and Pika fight. This is actually really fun. This is the part of the episode that I thought was well animated.
This was great.
But then suddenly Zoro's forehead doubles in height for no reason. In one scene.
I didn't notice that.
It's like fun fighting animation.
What is up with all this forehead fan service?
That's the problem.
Zoro taunts Pika about his sword, and Pika. I like the fact that we're just using Pika's voice now. Pika can get angry, he can have a conversation, and it just makes me laugh every time. He's like, "My sword is not. It's not dull.
You're not even trying."
Yeah. Oh, and back to Luffy, and we figure out that it's a trap, and it's the water keeps getting wetter. And it's like, oh, this is just
a well.
Yeah, this is just a well.
Side.
But then we see someone walking slowly.
Then Doflamingo walks in. Well. No,
Look
What do we have here?
I thought that was cute.
If it isn't Mr. Plow.
Linda. Wait,
Linda Ronstadt.
Linda Ronstadt. How'd they get her in the anime?
You always want to be working together.
Is that was the end, right?
Well, they do this slow reveal with the light on Doflamingo's face. It was actually really cool.
We also find
it was taking a long time to approach there.
I think you just skipped one.
Doflamingo all along.
You just skipped one little gag, and that was that Law was like, "Luffy, we have to go back to get my key," and Luffy's like, "It'll work out." And then when I don't know if you did say this, maybe I blanked out. And then Robin said, "Oh, we found your key. We're coming to give it to you."
Well, that was earlier on in the episode. Yeah?
Right. I know it happened through the episode, because at the very end is when Law finds out, oh, shit, Luffy was accidentally correct.
That's the episode.
What did you guys think, Steve?
It was solid. You know, I had my nitpicks about that one thing, but besides that, I thought it was okay. I mean, it wasn't great, but I thought it was a solid good.
Dennis?
I thought it was okay. Like less than good. Like the fan service stuff bugged me, but I actually highly enjoyed the Senior Pink Frankie segment they had there. And I guess, like while it was filler at the beginning, showcasing all the Coliseum Gladiator combatants, just like a little bit was like, oh yeah, these guys are around. Like that fit in the whole like extended filler, but like legitimate type filler. So I thought that was okay.
Implied filler.
Yeah, thank you. I was like, what's the word? Thanks.
Ed?
I didn't really enjoy that much of this episode. I don't know.
I have mixed feelings.
The art for the women is just it rears its ugly head like once every few months, and I just can't help but like despair a little bit about it.
See, for me, I have mixed feelings because I like the art and the animation, and when it was done well, it was done well. But there were the two things that I had a problem with was staring at the birdcage, waiting for the things to come in. Although the payoff was not terrible because you just see them land, and it is poorly animated, but I thought it kind of made it funnier that it's just these little dots and they just land and everyone's like, what were we staring at for the last 10 minutes? This is it? This is all what's the big deal? And then I actually out loud, when I saw the boobs starting to get bigger and bigger, and they grew 3 sizes that day, I was like, I said out loud, what the fuck is this? It was
not surprised.
Because it kept getting more ridiculous. First I'm like, what? And then, what the hell? And then you see Robin spin around in when she's on the airplane things.
Tontata Airlines?
Yeah. And they give her a little spin. And I'm like, what the fuck? It was a little much.
I don't know. I like the bits with Zoro and Pika.
Zoro and Pika were great, and Senior Pink.
Senior Pink and Frankie were very good too.
Yeah, that was the highlight, definitely. Those were both great scenes. Unfortunately surrounded by kind of meh. All right, why don't we go into the next segment?
Let's do it.
All right.
This is the Piece Together segment, where we take a smackerel of your questions and comments, and, well, we do whatever we want to them. Mostly answer them. And
that's pretty much it. Hi, I'm the dude. Taking over for Zach, starting the segment because
I'm
he wanted
here.
me to. Oh. No, never mind. Here he is, guys. Sorry. The fun's over. No fun allowed. Here comes Zach.
So let's get to your questions and comments and all that fun stuff. First question comes from Connor. Would you guys like One Piece and or Shonen Jump to have a Marvel Cinematic Universe treatment? For instance, alongside the anime manga, there would also be a live-action productions of both film and television.
No. Nope.
No.
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, I'm also good.
Animation. Just keep it animated. They're comics for a reason.
Next one comes from Joseph. As you guys know, there was a big reveal at the end of this chapter. Did you guys hear about it?
You hear about this? You hear about this?
What happened?
Oh, the big reveal, you mean that there's going to be no chapter next week?
He said that'll create a big swerve in the fight against Doflamingo. However, due to the nature of we have a lot of these questions, so I'm gonna put this out there once. Due to the nature of illegal scanlations, I'm curious how each of you try to avoid spoilers for big events like this. It's a big shame when readers who wish to follow the English Jump issues get spoiled days before. Do any of you go on a media blackout until the official release on Monday?
I think I have the best approach to this, which is don't participate in the online One Piece community at all.
Well, for me, the problem is, and I think a lot of people here as well, and by here I mean like in this podcast right now, is we do a One Piece podcast every week, so we have to be involved in the One Piece community. I know, Ed, you're not like personally involved. You don't use your Twitter or anything, so
Nope.
You go offline, you're gone. It doesn't happen. But for the rest of us, especially me, it's very hard to avoid. What do you guys do first, though, if anything?
Well, Zach, I work on the internet for a living, so I can't really avoid it. So I actually read the scanslations when they come out because
Don't be a dickwad.
I am a dickwad. I'm sorry, but if it makes you feel any better, I vastly prefer 100% what we read here on the podcast, which is Shonen Jump, now on the internet. Shonen Jump's on the internet now? Who knew? We did, because we are.
You want a handout of that one?
Yeah.
Let me also read Yoo-Hoo Dude, Andy's
Yo-ho.
Andy Yo-Ho.
You said Yoo-Hoo.
Yoo-hoo.
That's what
Like
his
the-
AKA is
Like the
Yoo-Hoo
beverage.
Dude.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
It's a
that's-
delicious beverage.
That's his also known as. I didn't
Oh,
make
I
that
did
up.
not know that.
Anyway, he said, I just want to read it because I think we, especially Ed and I, really would relate to this. I started reading One Piece on a weekly basis roughly around the time of Impel Down, when some inconsiderate people decided to drop the news that Ace was Roger's son mere days before I had the chance to read it. The exact same thing happened to us, by the way. I've learned since then, and to avoid certain parts of the internet and social media that may disclose such spoilers in future chapters, that accomplishment was dashed as I found out that Luffy's fourth gear, Gear 4, whatever we may be calling it, several days before it came out in Weekly Shonen Jump. The difference? This was not online, but courtesy of several people at my workplace. In any other situation, I would be glad to encounter fellow One Piece fans, but that was not the best time. Granted, I had a feeling that fourth gear would happen, and it's not the end of the world, but that's a certain thrill of finding out while turning the pages. And he's definitely right there. My opinion is that if people choose to read it illegally, could they at least keep the spoilers to themselves until the official chapter comes out? Have there been critical moments that spoiled you in the past, if you could recall? Apologies for venting and preaching. I just thought I'd share that one. Ed,
Yeah,
I don't think
there's
I've.
a lot.
I mean, I don't think I've had like really massive spoilers for anything.
actually, the one he's talking about was, I think, the most massive spoiler that was revealed to me.
I just forget those things after they happen.
Well, you get really pissed off when it happens, though. I know it happened with a lot of people with Sabo.
Oh,
which
yeah.
was a big one.
That was my most recent one.
Or when Ace died. Like when Ace just
died.
straight up died. Actually,
Oh yeah, that was spoiled to me as well. Yeah.
you could thank T-shirts for that.
Oh yeah, those came out before the right? Did they come out
Yeah,
before the chapter?
they came out before the chapter officially did. Yeah.
Oh my god. No, it's tough though, because I'm gonna just be honest, and everyone listening here, I'm gonna say at least 90% of the people listening right now know that official chapters come out on Monday, and if you have access to them legally, will try and read them, or know to be courteous to those who do read them, and respect the different opinion. But for 90% of One Piece fans out there, they have no idea that Shonen Jump exists. Maybe not 90, but a very large fraction of One Piece fans. They just don't know that's when it comes out. They think it comes out when the scanlations come out, and that everyone reads it the second it comes out. Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you guys think?
Well, I don't tend to post about, like, even if I read the scanlations, I never post about One Piece until Monday, simply because there are, people out there who do wait, and I don't want to screw that up for anybody.
Well said. All right. I think we can move past that, but that is a very important issue. I think Ed's approach is the best for those who aren't inundated by it professionally, is to just wait and stay off the internet from Wednesday through Monday, or at least the One Piece community.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful springtime. Go outside on the weekend.
Connor asks, hey guys, so I was wondering what your thoughts are on romance and One Piece. If I remember correctly, early on in One Piece, Oda said that he didn't want to include romance because that's not what boys were interested in. But then he introduced Boa Hancock and Baby 5, and Oda seems to be using them to poke fun at romance. I'm curious what your opinions are. Keep up the great work.
Yeah, that doesn't really count as romance. That's like comedy, basically. That's what that exists for the sake of in One Piece is.
And we've had Sanji way earlier than either of those characters. So.
Right.
They're basically like Boa Hancock is kind of a female Sanji just for Luffy.
Yeah, right.
Like how Sanji treats Nami.
This next one comes from Liam Tasker. Do you think Bartolomeo will be disappointed when he meets Sanji and he doesn't look like his wanted poster?
That's good.
That'd be hilarious.
Or he just doesn't believe it. He's just like, you're not Sanji. Sanji looks like this.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be really good.
This was probably one of my favorite emails, and this is probably coincidence, but let's see what you guys think. Gear 2nd happened in chapter 387. Gear 4th happened in 783. Mind equals blown.
Oh, yeah. I forget. My friend mentioned this to me. I totally forgot to keep note of that. Yeah, bit of a mind fuck.
It's, I don't know. You think that was on purpose?
Man, it's a crazy coincidence.
387 and 783. So Gear 2nd happened in 387.
Wait, so when did
coincidence?
What chapter did Gear 3rd?
No, that doesn't count.
Silence.
I think that happened. Well, it happens a couple times because he almost does it, and then then he does it, and then you see.
Well, according to the One Piece wiki, it debuted in chapter 403, so we can expect to see Gear 5 in chapter 304.
Great logic. Or maybe 1043 or something. I don't know.
Years ago.
4003. Just add a 0 in there. Let's go to the next question here. Comes from HJ. Cool name. Guys, sorry for sending you... all right, he sent 2 questions here. Here's the second one. In this week's episode, do you think it would have been better if Bartolomeo had created a barrier in the air, extending it and removing it as the others run on it? Also, so that's when they're hopping over the buildings. Also, why did Robin not use her wings to actually fly with the help of the beetles? She said, I guess it was to save stamina.
Well, she can't really fly for a very long period, even now, with them.
She sort of just like maintains the same altitude, right, for a few seconds.
Yeah, it's more of like a way to slow down while falling, I feel like.
Yeah, the reason that birds can fly is because their bones are hollow, like, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Amateur ornithology on the One Piece podcast.
Anyway, HJ had one other question. I like this one. Considering how Luffy's attacks are partially now based on animals, and that during a time skip he became friends with a lion, a gorilla, a crocodile, and others, do you think he will have attacks based on these animals? What cool attack names would you like to see from Luffy in the future? We've only seen hawks and eagles, so right now they're
and bears.
birds.
Oh my.
we've seen Bear. I mean,
Grizzly Magnum.
Grizzly.
Oh,
yeah.
Grizzly. You're right.
Yeah, Grizzly Adams had a beard. Grizzly Adams didn't have a beard.
Do any of you have thoughts?
It'll probably be like another sort of raptor or I don't know, like a Falcon Punch maybe.
That sounds right.
But that's what Red Hawk was supposed to be.
Yeah.
All right, Ed. I think it's time to.
Piece the tweet. Yeah.
It's time to piece the tweet. We take your Twitter questions, comments, theories, and we go through them. So, what's our first question on Twitter, Ed?
First question is from Emil Nordpol, who asks, do you think Doflamingo will set a new standard for villains' preparedness? He knew Luffy quite well. Now, he loses like 1 million points for actually putting the Flame Fruit in the tournament.
Yeah, he's just evening himself out.
I don't think he knew Luffy that well at all. I think he read the newspaper a lot.
I think he's a well-informed individual. I don't think he's like, ooh, I must read more about this Luffy character.
Well, the thing is, at this point, Luffy had already defeated Crocodile and Moria, 2 warlords. So I think Doflamingo was like, okay, I can't take him lightly, but I got this. And yeah, him putting that, him to lure him in, to lure Luffy in with that devil fruit, it worked poorly in its favor because here come the Sabo.
The thing is, it was working. It would have worked probably if Sabo weren't there.
But what if Luffy won? That's the thing.
Unless Luffy won, which he probably would have.
It's the Colosseum and is awarded the devil fruit. We cut back to Doflamingo just going, shit.
But what would Luffy have done with the devil? He just would have taken it and ran.
It just seems like a convenient plot device.
Anyway, Ed, what's the next one?
Next one is from Tony Esco, who asks, combined attacks, which members would work best together? And if and when they do a team attack, what the hell would happen?
Oh, Zoro and Sanji.
We've already seen that, though.
Yeah.
In, with Foxy.
Take back.
You know what I want to see? I want to see Frankie put Chopper in his strong cannon or whatever and just fire him, just like a bullet or a missile, kind of like a fastball special. Yeah.
Anyone else?
I would like to see Robin and Luffy fight together, do some giant fist punching.
Giant woman.
Yeah, see her become a
Pretty
giant
cool,
woman.
actually.
Let's see Robin fight for once.
Yeah, really.
Agree. What's next, Ed?
All right, our own news guy, William.
You were thinking of how to read that, weren't you? That's what that pause was. It's like, how do I pronounce that?
Yes, William, our reliable news chief, has asked, which DC or Marvel superhero do you think could fit in the One Piece world? So would Aquaman be Dellinger's cousin? Or maybe Ghost Rider as a flame fruit devil fruit user? Now, I don't know much about American comic books, so I'm going to have to let you guys answer this.
The current interpretation of Squirrel Girl would fit right in One Piece, to be completely honest.
Based on what I've seen, I think Ant-Man would work well in the One Piece world. Based on
the one trailer that came out,
Thomas the freaking Tank Engine, man.
Yeah, he's a fit for One Piece big time.
Puffing Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, Thomas the Tank Engine. I want to see the puffing Thomas the Tank Engine. Other than that,
the best Marvel character of all time.
I'm not big on. I would love to see Spider-Man in One Piece. No, I don't. What would he be able to swing on? Oh, the air, I guess.
The superpowers that are in DC and Marvel are very not like One Piece, because One Piece powers seem to have a limitless pool of creative techniques. The one superhero that I can just easily put into that category is Plastic Man, but that's too much like the Gomu Gomu fruit.
Or Magneto, which would be too much like Kid.
Yeah. Now, if we're going to be going outside of the DC and Marvel pool.
Sure.
I'm going to throw Merman into the ring. Shameless plug for our pal Joey Weiser.
Oh, you kiss ass. No, but I always thought that Merman was very Toriyama-esque and even a little bit of One Piece. He'd be like the even though I haven't seen the movie yet, so I have no idea. I feel like he'd be the Jocko.
Jocko, I was thinking that.
The Dragon Ball world, you know.
Yeah.
Merman could totally be the Jocko to the One Piece world.
That's right.
It'd be really cool. Just making cameos, just running in, beating the shit out of like 50 guys at once. Oh man.
I thought we were thinking the same thing.
Joey's just like, no, that's not the interpretation of my character. You're turning my character into a corporate sellout.
Yeah,
Or,
And then we're gonna make Merman video games.
and then when Oda goes to him and asks him to do that, he'll be like, "No."
And then we're gonna do an edgy reboot of Merman. Wow, Joey, you have to thank me for saying Merman like 15 times this podcast.
Actually, as I'm looking at my shelf, I'm gonna also add Usagi Yojimbo. Just because you've got like animal people in One Piece. I guess we're gonna call them mink men for now. And a bunny person who is really good with the katana would be cool.
I think he would actually fit in best in Dragon Ball, in the original Dragon Ball.
Oh, absolutely. No question about it. But I'm saying as long as we have people like Peckham's,
Yes.
or Beppo,
yes. That's true.
What's next?
Next question is from Illusion Devil Fruit, who asks, would your favorite One Piece openings be in your top 5 or 10 anime openings ever?
Definitely.
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know if I care about any anime as much as I've cared about One Piece, so it kind of has to be up there, right?
It's funny that you asked this question at a time where I'm trying to like, oh man, I want to try and make a slightly better anime playlist on my iPod because it's like a shit ton of One Piece and Dragon Ball
For
stuff.
me, right now, it's JoJo and One Piece.
At this point now, I kind of like I almost want to separate One Piece openings and endings from like other anime ones because it's like it's One Piece. It's a completely different thing to me now. It like transcends that genre. But
Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei always had great openings, and so did Sergeant Frog.
yeah, we
like
are still like one of my favorite songs, from anime in general. So it definitely ranks high.
I actually really like
Gundam openings are really good.
Gundam openings are really I realized that when I sat
Gundam.
through
Fly Gundam's my favorite.
I have that song now. I got it last night, and I
Come
just
to the party, pal.
I drove to and from work today, and I listened to nothing but that and the first Zeta Gundam opening. That's the only 2 songs I listened to, and my commute is probably altogether like about 40 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, I just listened to those 2 songs over and over again.
Nice.
I know. I realized Gundam openings were awesome when I just played that hour and 15-minute video of every single Gundam opening as I was working, and I was like, oh man, some of these songs are fucking badass. I'm mostly more partial to like the 80s ones because I'm just a sucker for 80s synth. But
8th MS Team has a really good opening too.
yeah, that's a cool, very 90s.
8th MS
Yeah.
Team has a good everything.
As soon as like Gundam kind of like goes into the modern era, it kind of just breaks my heart. I'm like, oh, there's no camp anymore. It's just an anime that happens to have Gundams in it.
Luckily, G Gundam is there to satisfy your craving, which also has a good opening.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Man, we should talk about Gundam more on a podcast.
Yeah, we should. Let's make a note of that.
Yeah.
Ed, what's the next question?
Benedict Johansson asks, the chapter hype. He's excited. Wadatsumi is the new crew member confirmed?
Totally. Right up there with Margaret and the tree with an old man's face on.
Or the fake zombie guy?
People really thought that Margaret was going to join the crew because she was introduced with a full body shot. That was a thing at the time. If you had a full body shot, it's like, oh, potential crew member.
Also, she
It's
was
science.
new and she had an Oda box.
Uh-huh.
I've actually been rereading
and
that
a
stuff,
cat
too.
fruit for some reason, right?
Oh, no. That was only Oda originally was planning that. But
Right.
It was funny. I was just looking through Databook Green the other day, and I saw that, so I knew exactly what you were talking about.
I couldn't remember if he actually went through with that or not, and it's like it doesn't even matter because
I at the time I would have told I was kind of like on board with them. Like I could see Margaret joining the crew, but then eventually, what the story led into, Ace dying and all that, Luffy just bawling his eyes out, just utterly depressed, and Margaret's like, "Ooh, so what are we gonna do next?" It's like,
What's next, Ed?
Danny Newman asks, how many gears do you think Luffy will gain by the time One Piece ends?
as many as a Schwinn mountain bike.
21?
How much is in a normal car? Isn't it 6?
6 to 8, I think. depending on how high end.
That's going to be my answer then. 6 to 8.
I think 5 at the most.
I think most cars have 6, don't they? It's because the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right?
Yeah.
You know, there's the 3 rows that you used to have on those older cars.
I just hope that it goes up to 12 so that we can say
Then it got kicked into 12.
12th gear.
We should have probably had Brian on this episode.
Yeah, probably. Shout out. He's listening.
We've shouted out to everyone this episode.
You're going to get to see Brian. You're going to be the first podcast member to...
Yeah, hanging out.
Confirm that he exists.
Technically, Zach and the others have sort of met him in person, but without knowing him.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I did technically meet him like 5 years ago, and I don't remember.
No, it was not 5 years ago.
Yeah, Anime Expo, he said I met him.
It was close.
2010.
That was 5 years ago.
That was... No, you're doing your math very,
It was 4 years and 8 months ago.
very right.
Well, this is the math podcast, so
It's the unofficial math
You
podcast.
see, Steve forgot to carry the one. And
What voice is that?
That's how all smart people sound, right?
What's the next one, Ed? From
The next one is... What's that?
John Kaufman's, right?
Well, Jimmy Nelson thinks we're super. Thank you for that, Jimmy. But John Kaufman has the next question, who asks, what do you think the pros and cons of 4th gear are? Who had the idea that it was going to turn him permanently small?
That was me.
There you go. I like that one.
Yeah, I think I said it a little bit. I think Dude probably is going to win what's going on here, but I think it's going to be that he's going to be a lot less malleable. I think he's just going to be a lot stronger, but not as bendy and rubbery.
sure. Like he loses his stretchiness for a certain period, like he's a normal person.
Well, no, I just see it as it. I hate to do the DBZ thing here, but it's kind of like that when.
Oh, the Ultra Super Saiyan? The
Yeah.
tungsten?
So you're not as maneuverable, but you're super powerful. But but in Luffy's case, I mean, it's still rubber technically, but he's not. He doesn't have many of the properties of rubber because he's Tire Luffy is what I'm going to call him. So
Now I just imagine Luffy with just like overgrown muscles. Like,
you should imagine him as the Goodyear.
you could call me Super Luffy.
I was
the
imagining
Michelin
him
Man.
having arm point arms with just giant muscles but tiny wrists.
I see him as the Michelin
So
Man.
it's like opposite of Popeye. Okay.
Yeah.
He's like something out of Ghostbusters.
No, that's the Stay Puft marshmallow.
Oh, of course. Those are completely different things.
They are. Michelin Man is for tires. Stay Puft was a marshmallow man.
No, I know. I'm joking.
And also the form that Ray chose for Gozer the Destructor.
What's next?
What did you do, Ray?
Gabby asks, Wadatsumi becoming an ally might serve as a counter to San Juan Wolf in the long term.
Actually, yeah.
He's so much smaller than San Juan Wolf. San Juan Wolf
is, yeah.
Like San Juan Wolf is like I think bigger than giant stone monster Pika.
Yeah. I think that
Like-
was the only thing we've seen that was big.
Like he's bigger than an island.
Yeah, he is. I think you're right.
Wait, well, it depends on what island. He's certainly bigger than Marineford, but Marineford's just like a big building.
That's also true.
Dressrosa's a country.
I don't know. That
Begs the question: who's bigger, Pika or San Juan Wolf? Listeners, we want your opinion.
Hashtag San Juan Wolf.
We don't want opinions. We want the facts.
Oh yeah.
Listeners, we want your facts.
No, don't send us the facts. We just want facts.
Listeners, we want your frequently asked questions.
No,
Send them to hashtag piece together.
we don't want your quiz. We want.
I want
what's
your
next?
gods.
Team Pika, Team San Juan Wolf. Go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pirate Marimo asks, if you could choose 5 of the 47 Prefecture character songs, which would you most want to hear officially dubbed?
Okay, I forget like half of them, but I'm gonna
I
say it right
haven't
now.
even heard.
Enaru's, just so we could force that fucker Tatum to sing.
Tokyo Pia, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't listened to any of them. I can't even comment.
I just
They're
remember
pretty good, actually.
I remember the YouTube snippet ones. Practically every character is in it, so I don't know. Jason Douglas is awesome as Kuzan, so just get him to sing. I'm sure.
I wanna hear the crocodile one. I think it's called Sand Blues.
Oh man,
John Swayze.
John Swayze, that will be gravel.
Yeah, I'd like that. That'd be fun. That or Bon Clay's. He has a really catchy tune.
Get on it, Funimation.
Yeah, it's totally gonna happen. Josh is like, oh yeah, I'll make that happen. Yeah. And Josh is listening right now, like, yeah, I would say that. What Steve's saying right now, and that, and the thing he's saying afterwards.
We're really shouting out to everyone today.
Shout out to our homies, our Coliseum gladiators.
Ed, what's next?
Dion asks, do any of you guys have or had pets with One Piece names or any pets at all?
Nope. No.
I've had pets.
I've had pets, yeah.
I've never had a One Piece themed pet.
I've also never had a pet that I have the naming rights to.
The one anime I kind of swore I'd name a pet after, it's a reference to Sergeant Frog, but other than that, that's about it.
When my mom was getting new cats, she was like, "What should we name them?" And I'm like, "I wanted to name one Django."
Of course. Guessed.
But then she's like, "No," and then she named all of her cats like people names, and it's weird.
Like Mrs. Mrs. Furbottom.
No, yes. Mia, Abby, and Oliver.
Wow. No, Miss Furbottom is what I wanted to name the cat.
Miss Furbottom.
Yeah,
it's from Sergeant Frog.
It's from Sergeant Frog. It sounds suspiciously like Mrs. Featherbottom. Who wants a banger in the mouth? Oh, I forgot in the States you call it a sausage in the mouth.
I'm from Blackstool.
I'm charmed, I'm sure.
Ryan Acid Wayne asks, with volume 80 coming up, do you think we could have a top 10 of our favorite volume covers?
Guys, why don't we rank all 80?
All right, let's do it.
God.
No.
I'm kidding.
I know we've talked about it before. Did we ever do a top 5 though? I don't think we did a top
years
5.
ago.
Maybe in like the first year of the show, but we haven't done like anything like that lately.
I remember us talking about like
we ranked the color spreads.
You know, when volume 80 comes out, we'll do it. That's still a little while from now. What are we up to? 77? We just came out?
I feel like nothing's changed though. Like the newer ones, they're fine and good, but I think my
5 are probably
my
the same,
5
yeah.
have been the same they've been for the past.
Well, this is off the top of my head, but I am a big fan of 54. I think that's the most recent one with Luffy literally jumping out of the page.
The impel down one?
Yeah.
It's a fantastic
It's
cover.
a great one.
Yes, with Magellan looking serious in the background.
I'm trying to think of the most recent ones I really love. 61's great.
Also, 54 has very underrated underboob.
Sadi?
Yes.
No.
Sadi-chan.
No, Hannibal.
Oh, right.
With his,
Actually, yes, both of them.
with his bosoms.
No,
He's made of chocolate.
we're not going to get to volume 80, I don't think, until 2016, I think, at the pace of things, or at the very least, the very end of this year.
I don't know. Oda's taking a couple of breaks. We got...
Well, 77 just came out. There's usually 4 years, so 77, 78, 79, 80. I'll probably be at the end of this year.
Let's do the endings one, and then in the future we'll try to...
I don't think we're going to do that until... Well, we could do that at the end of the year.
Do you think...
Toward the end of the year.
Would we do a top 5 or do a top 10?
Probably top 10. There's 80.
Yeah, there's so many of them now.
Yeah, I think it'll be more interesting. But we'll do it in the same kind of fashion.
I'm gonna take all the volumes off of my shelf and lay them out and look at them all at once.
Okay, you're planning this too much.
And we definitely have to poll the fans too. I definitely want to see what the general consensus is.
I don't know. Do you want to talk about that during at the end of the piece together, Zach? With
we'll do it. We'll do it in a separate little thing right after the piece together.
All right.
Keep going.
Okay, the next question comes from Dark Leviathan, who asks, Gear 4, if it has some physical changes, what would you like it to have? I guess you've already had this discussion.
Yeah, we've discussed this.
Yeah. Next question comes from a Clone's Rose. Is Robin's spider net technique the same name in Japanese as Doflamingo's spider web?
No, they're different. Actually, I did answer this on Twitter, and they are different, although they look very similar. And I actually looked it up because I was like, wait a minute. Like, I thought for a second, actually, the first time that I saw it, I wasn't really concentrating on the image, and I thought it was Doflamingo saying that, like he was trying to grab Law so that he could pull him back. And then I was like, that's weird. Doflamingo called it the spider web, when he used his spider web attack earlier. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, this is Robin. So that's why they are distinct.
How do you say spider web in Japanese? Does it have an ito at the end?
I think it was just Kumonosu. I think that was it.
That's really
boring. Or Kumonoito or something like that. Yeah. It was one of his few like actual Japanese ones.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, really quick sidebar. I love Doflamingo's attack names. I love them. Like I miss kind of when Oda was really, really, really clever about attack names, like way back when, like how all of Mr. One's attacks had spa in them. And I like that Doflamingos all have Ito in them.
I'm a fan of that too. That's why I bring it up way too much when we talk about it. Ed, what's next?
The next one actually comes from.
I think you can do Ash, because that's the same exact question from Texan Ninja, yeah.
Yeah, Ash says, it's not really a question, but he says, take a drink whenever someone gets a prediction right, and props to whoever got this prediction weeks before it happened.
We did mention Gear for being a potentiality. I think, Steve, you might have been the one to bring it up.
I know it was not me. I know that.
I know we discussed it. I don't think I brought it up, though, because I've been I've been of the opinion that Gear 4th probably wasn't going to happen. I forgot who said it, so it was only a few weeks ago for whoever could remember originally said that. You tweet us, you know how to do that. Just at One Piece Podcast. Before we round off, we're going to do a mini segment. Why don't we get into that? We'll go through viewers' rankings for the openings, and it's really interesting. So why don't we get into that?
All right.
Okay.
Better hurry.
This is our special ranking segment, a little bit of a continuation from last week. You guys really enjoyed that episode. We had more feedback, I think, than we've had in a long time. A lot of downloads, better than the usual episode, definitely. And 400 of you made your choice clear as to what your favorite opening was. Now, this is a little bit different. We're going to go through your viewer openings. Let me your rankings for all 400 of you that submitted one. It's a little different. You guys didn't have a choice as to all 17 putting them in different places and having them assign numbers, because that would be confusing and impossible to put together. You each had one, and the results are really freaking weird and interesting. And
Let's start from the bottom, or did any of them not get any votes?
Well, I might as well start from the bottom. We don't have to do the same thing we did last week from the middle. Let's start from the bottom of the garbage tier. With 3 votes out of 400, Bon Voyage.
Ooh, wow.
I was a little shocked about that. Now, again, I want to put things in perspective. That's not necessarily all of your guys' least favorite opening. It's just the least of your favorite opening.
Nobody's favorite.
It's only 3 people's favorite opening.
We also should have included what's your least favorite opening.
Well, we could do that, too. I mean, we have unlimited amounts of time that we'll be talking about One Piece. I'm sure we could do that in the future. So Bon Voyage is number 17.
Wow.
I bet you guys could guess the second least.
Kaze wo Sagashide?
A very good job. That had 5 votes. Now, I was watching this over the last hour, watching this change, and it is crazy, like, how things shifted significantly. Because in the last hour, I'm like, this is your last hour to get it in. And I think we had, 100 new votes, and it just completely changed what this looked like.
Nice.
Kaze wo Sagashite got a couple extra ones at the end, but Bon Voyage, for some reason, was always at the bottom. The third to last in the garbage tier is the We Are remix, which is not a very surprising one. That was in all our garbage tiers as well.
I don't know. I saw some people, more people than I expected to commented how they liked the.
Yeah, I mean, look, everyone has. This is a very subjective thing, and that's why we kind of did a cumulative score, and we obviously all very much disagreed, which is good. If anything, that means every opening has a fan out there. Except apparently Bon Voyage. I mean, who knew? No. They're fans of that as well. The fourth to last in the garbage tier that you guys out there chose was Wake Up with 8 votes. That's not all that surprising.
Nope.
Let's head into the lower tier, guys. Tied at 12th place with 14. We have Hands Up. That one's not that surprising. But Brace Yourself, Dude, Believe was also in 12th place.
It's a product of its time.
And with 15 votes, Jungle P.
Wow.
And the 11th rank, which is around... It's not that much lower than I think the average was. I think we had that around the middle or just above the middle, so it's a little bit... It's close. This one is just about where we all put it. Crazy Rainbow had number 10 with 18 votes. But these are all really close together. The tiers actually are very close together here. Now, something weird happened. So there are two neutral, and I'll get into the weird thing that happened in a second. The first neutral had 20 votes. This made me disappointed. I think it's going to make Dude disappointed as well. But Hikarie only had 20 votes at 9th place. The second one was a complete shock. I'm still shocked. I don't understand how 23 people voted for this one, but 23 people's favorite opening is the We Are Straw Hat version.
What?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Our fan, like when we released our episode, the fans were like, "Oh, you guys didn't like that? That was like my favorite." I saw a lot of those kinds of comments, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these people got into the anime around this time frame.
Or maybe they were just, being like, oh, well, I like the song, as opposed to
that
just
might be it.
Yeah.
Because I like the song.
Dennis, yeah, you weren't on last time.
No, I completely agreed with, like, I think you said it, Dude, as well. Like, you said you really like the song, you just hate how you only get 2 people in the opening, and that's it. Like, the whole song is better.
It's like, well,
nice. And also they reuse all the animation, and it comes at a really bad time in the anime.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where things get weird.
This is when things get kicked into.
Fourth gear.
I'm sorry. My comment was actually referring to the 10th anniversary We Are one. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I forgot there's like multiple We Rs now.
There's like 3 We Rs.
What was crazy is that We Are bookended our list. It was the first and the last.
That's not surprising.
So I was watching this, and these next 4 kept moving back and forth across. Like one would win, and then the next would be winning, and it ended in a 4-way tie, which is incredible. All of them had 30 votes, and I placed them in the order in which they were winning. So but they're all the same. So. And it's kind of shocking that they all had such huge fan bases. First is We Go, had 30 votes. Brand New World had 30 votes. We Are had 30 votes. And Share the World had 30 votes.
Wow, Share the World is one of these things that's not like the other.
Interesting.
Look, I like Share the World. It's pretty clear that there is a big fan base for that. I'm not super surprised. These lists aren't so far off from what we put together. No. And what's really good here is that, so in the garbage tier, 8 through 3 votes. In the lower tier, 18 through 14 votes. In the neutral one, 23 to 20. And in what I call the 4th place tier, 30. They're all very close together. And the God tier, the thing is, there are 2, and then there's 1 runaway. So let's go first. In 3rd place with 36 votes is One Day. I think this tracks a little closer to us Ed, than anyone else. I think you put One Day at number 3.
I do have very correct opinions.
at number 2, with 38 votes, is Kokoro no Chizu. So that also was very close to One Day the entire time. Those were tracking together. And running away with it at 77 votes is Fight Together.
Nice.
I still don't understand. Like, it's good. I don't understand.
I don't understand, bitch. I don't understand.
Is it? Am I out of touch? No. It's the children who are wrong.
But they can go back and listen to our whole discussion about this on last week's show.
Dennis, I don't know if you made one, but I have Jammers if you guys are curious as well. And I also have Size.
I did not. Go ahead and say theirs.
I'll go with Jammers first. Bottom up. And Jammer, remember, has opinions that inflame people. So everyone...
Oh, who? Jammer? No.
I love you, Jammer, but
why you gotta be that way, Jammer? Go ahead and respond, Jammer. We know you're here.
Hey guys, it's me, Jammer. I was hiding from under a rock because I'm scared. Okay, bye. I'm gonna go back under it, and hopefully you guys won't hate me too much for my weird opinions.
He's going to hate this episode. Okay, so number 17, We Are Straw Hat version. Number 16, Wake Up. Number 15, We Are Remixed version.
So far, so good.
Number 14, Crazy Rainbow. That is the garbage tier. Number 13, going to the lower tier, the Courier. 12, now it's starting. Number 12, Jungle P. Number 11, there's one that's missing here. Kazebo Sagashite at number 11. Number 10, Bon Voyage. Number 9 will make dude literally jump out of his seat, and that is We Are.
Wow.
He didn't literally jump out of his seat.
No.
He gave me this long.
It.
He wrote me this long explanation, which I don't have in front of me. I'm sorry, Jammer.
And no one cares anyway, so that all works out.
I kind of want to know now, but
Jammer will be on soon, so he could let us know.
hey guys, it's me. I'm back. Jammer, that is. I'm gonna let you know at a later date because Zach is
He's just too scared right now.
Decisions. And okay, I'm gonna go over here now.
Now we're in the good tier. Number 8 is the upper tier. Sorry. Number 8 is Believe. Number 7 is Hands Up. Number 6 is We Go, and number 5 is Share the World. And the God tier. Number 4, Kokoro no Chizu. Number 3, Brand New World. Number 2, One Day, and number 1, Fight Together.
Appropriate opinions.
Then we go through size quick as well.
People are more correct when they agree with me.
I love you, right?
Me too.
You're welcome.
Number 17 for Sai is Kazewo Sagashite. That one is correct. That one is correct. Your opinion is correct there. Number 16 is Wake Up. Number 15 is the We Are remix. And number 14 is the We Are Straw Hat version. That is a very good garbage tier, if I do say so myself. Number 13 in the lower tier is Hands Up. 12 is Crazy Rainbow. 11 is Believe. And 10 is Jungle P. In the neutral tier is Brand New World. Then we get number 8, Hikarie. How is that so low for so many people?
It's still upper tier, though. It's good.
Yeah, that one's upper tier. Number 7 is Share the World. Number 6 is Bon Voyage. There's someone who likes it. Number 5 is One Day. And then in the upper tier, the God tier, I'm sorry. Number 4 is Kokoro no Chizu. Number 3 is We Go. Number 2 is We Are. And number 1
is Fight Together. Yeah, I know. I follow Sai on Twitter. Look, I'm just saying. It's, okay. Did Greg give us a list?
I haven't asked him yet.
I want to know what Greg.
This is the melancholy of frickin' the dude.
Oh, I wish I could name the episode.
I know. I just picture you now laying down in the back of the cab, just saying, "I don't want to listen to fucking Fight Together, man." And the cab was like, "Fuck you," and then you get kicked out. I just made a Big Lebowski reference.
Yes, you did. I got it. I mean, of course, I got it.
I'll try.
I want to see you in the back of a cab, and I'm saying, "I don't want to listen to fucking Fight
Together."
I'm gonna try and get.
I had a rough night, and I hate Namie, whatever her name is.
Thank you, dude.
I'm gonna try and get more opinions from the staff, including Greg, and we'll continue doing these mini
segments. I don't know what
segments.
Greg's opinions are of Kazewo Sagashite. Just go back.
Well, I'm banking that Greg will have Believe on a higher tier.
I think his is going to be pretty high, yeah, for Believe.
Good, and that is correct. That's the correct opinion.
Another imitation gimmick.
Believe is way better than you guys think it is.
You got to stop imitating those gimmicks.
I'm surprised Hands Up was so highly ranked. I don't know. I just thought it was forgettable.
It has a catchy hook, and that's it. Bumpa, hands up, bloop, bloop, ba doop, ba doop, boop. All right, fast forward, episode time. Oh, wait, here's a 10-minute recap. Fast forward through that. Okay, 5 minutes of actual episode, and when it's over, oh, anime.
Hands up.
I mean, overall, it's not super different from what we had. I think One Day may have been the most... the biggest, and I'm sorry, Share the World was probably the biggest discrepancy that we had.
If you include these two members of the staff, I think Share the World will be much higher up in our collective rankings.
That's also true. I hope to put together a master list with everyone, but we're a very big staff, as you may have figured out. So
it'll be stored in the master CPU.
Which is an Excel spreadsheet.
I desire macaroni pictures.
So if you guys enjoyed this, and I think it was our favorite discussion, one of my favorite discussions I've had on the podcast.
Well, not to discredit the the Ain't No Mountain High Enough episode because I loved every minute of that manga recap. So, but
Yeah, that was good, too.
one of my favorite
Manga.
manga chapter discussions. It was a hoot.
So we're going to do the same kind of thing again, and that's going to be on May 4th, and really excited about it. Going through endings, we'll put a poll up soon, so keep an eye out for that. And for everyone out there, including everyone in here, watch the endings, refamiliarize with something that hasn't been around for almost a decade, and we'll see you on May 4th with that. But for now, let's round off the podcast. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
世界中の海を股にかけてゆく雄たけび上げて心が晴れたら出発の合図を響かせゆこう
This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 364 for Monday, April 13th, 2015. Great episode today, you guys. Big thanks to Greg, who had to take off, but he's always great to have on. Brings a lot of insight.
But like Frosty the Snowman, don't you cry. He will be back someday.
He will. Next winter. No, hopefully sooner.
It's spring.
Steve, we're going to be going to Dallas in May.
Yeah, Crazy Horse.
Is that a
Did
place?
someone say my name? It's me, Crazy Horse. Okay, now I have to go back to where I was before. In the olden days, I'm a ghost. Bye.
Yeah, we're planning on shooting some stuff.
We're not going to get specific at the moment.
Yeah. Creatively named One Piece Podcast Dallas. Goes to Dallas. OPP Dallas. I don't know.
We don't have an official name yet.
Hashtag trend that worldwide.
OPP gets the D.
Don't make me name it that.
Oh, now you're gonna. Yeah.
Did the spirit of that Native American come back to try to convince Zach to name it that?
No, he didn't. It's just me, the dude.
I thought it was Jammer.
No, here's Jammer. Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jammer. All right, bye. I gotta go.
Yeah, but just stay tuned. I think we're gonna be planning this out, but it's a happening.
It is happening. Also,
It's a happening.
Will you stop?
Yes.
Also, make sure to go to teespring.com /bananame shirt or teespring.com /One Piece Podcast. Pick up your One Piece shirt. The Bananame one, I think, looks really cool. Steve tweaked a lot of the colors. I think it looks really nice.
I think it looks pretty awesome as a blue shirt. That yellow really pops. People over the years have really been asking for us to bring this one back, so it's what we've done. So I really hope
it's available for a very limited time. It's available in both men's or regular T-shirts. It's also available in women's fitted. Since a lot of people were asking about that, we do have female fans. It's always nice to know. So go out, pick whichever one of those you want out. You can pick all of those out. The One Piece Podcast shirt's not going to be around for much longer, and the Bananame shirt is only going to be out for a few more days as of this podcast, unless you guys get enough to re-reserve it. So go out there and get it. Yeah, I think besides that, that's everything. Again, the schedule is going to be a little wacky for the next few weeks. April 20th, that's next week. We're going to go through Volume 77 with Steven. Steven, this is always a very fun thing to do. We have the AAC feed to go through images of the SBS. Is there anything cool in this one that you could tease?
Yeah, the undercover illustration is pretty awesome.
Oh, yes, that is probably one of my favorite that's definitely my favorite undercover illustration. I thought you were going to tease the fart jokes, but that's actually a much more legitimate one.
There's a dick joke.
Good. On April 27th, we're going to go through chapter 784 and the continuation of what we went through this week. Then on May 4th, Dude, you're going to join us in addition to at least Steve, some others, I'm not sure who yet. We're going to go through ending themes and we're going to rank them. There are 18 of them. We're going to probably put a poll up next week attached to the podcast. I'm sorry, 2 weeks from now attached to the podcast, trying to get what you guys think about endings. It's definitely a much harder list to compile. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Like, because if we made a top 5 a while ago, so it's probably not going to change too much for me.
Yeah, but it's the middle ones. I'm not.
Ooh, yes, that's. And then I'm going to have to decide what's in the garbage tier.
Yeah.
What's funny? I honestly don't think any of them are garbage.
I don't remember ever like this ending. And same with like I think I've been slightly more offended by some of the openings, but for the most part, there hasn't been any song choices in One Piece that made me gag.
Except that one.
Yeah.
So with that out of the way, Stephen, how could people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Translatosaurus. Let's see. Yeah, not a whole lot going on. I did get my copy of Kaizoku Musou 3, Pirate Warriors 3, which won't be out for a few months in English, but I'm enjoying it so far. I'm too busy. I don't think we're going to be doing any... well, certainly not on the import. We're not going to be doing any Grand Line Gaming stuff for that. For the time being, it's just it's not really working out. But I don't know. Maybe we'll find some time to resurrect that for when the English version comes out.
Dennis, where can people find you?
You can also find me on Twitter at Itchnob. I also do a podcast called Cosplay Jam. That's at skcosplay.com. And I actually want to give a special shout out to my girlfriend Kate and her friends Dan and Kristen, who are actually in Japan right now.
I forgot about that.
And they are actually planning to hit the One Piece Tokyo Tower exhibit after we're done recording this. So I'm eagerly anticipating picture tweets. So,
and hopefully we'll have them on to talk a little bit about it in the future.
Yeah, see what happens. Hopefully they can. They both agreed, like, yeah, it would be fun to talk about it. So we'll see.
If they can. Alex, where can people find you?
Well, as always, you can find me on Twitter at dude exclamation, all one word, and dude exclamation at .tumblr.com. I post art there occasionally, and I have an Instagram too. If you want to try to find that, I think it's the same handle. Let's see what else is up in my life. Oh yeah, if any of you guys who are around LA or who are going to Star Wars Celebration 7 in Anaheim this coming weekend, I will be there. So shoot me a tweet or look for me. I'm pretty short, so a little short for a stormtrooper. So yeah.
Oh, right, the uniform.
Yeah. I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
I brought the droid in Ben Kenobi. Ben Kenobi!
Yeah. Ben Kenobi? What is it?
Like, how did she know what Obi-Wan's nickname on Tatooine was?
You know what?
Ben Kenobi! What is that, his cousin? When she kind of like talks in that kind of like 50s actress voice a few times?
Yeah. The Judy Garland voice. Her grandmother. Yeah, fun fact.
You.
Yeah, that's it. That's it until next time. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Oh yeah, and feel free to check out Steve and I's podcast, or me and Steve's podcast, 20 minutes of bullshit,
which you just got a great preview of there. Steve, where can people find
we have an episode in limbo, Zach.
We do. So we might just record another one tonight and release that. And we can just put the Limbo episode as like a lost episode that we can release like in a couple of years.
No. Have faith in the Limbo episode. It could come out, right, Zach?
Yes.
Zach?
Maybe.
Give it time.
Hey, I don't want that Limbo episode if Barbados Slim has anything to do with it.
Steve, where can people find you?
Ah, yes, from Barbados. I'm not from Barbados. I'm from @Steve Yurko on Twitter. Follow me on Tumblr, steveyurko.tumblr.com for drawings and stuff, because I do that. Also, I will be at Teco in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania this coming weekend. So if you just so happen to be at this small little con in Pittsburgh, come holla holla. And is it okay if I give a shout out?
No, go ahead.
That's never stopped you before.
No.
I'm shocked you were asking.
I just want to give out a shout out to one of my cats, Rigel. I know you're not listening. I know you're laying on my bed right now, taking up a lot of space because you're a fatty, but you're a good cat. But you're smelly.
Ed, can you remind me not to?
Did
let
you bring
Steve...
him on?
Yes, never do that again.
Yeah, never. Remind me never to let him have a shout out again. Ed, how could the good people out there contact us?
Well, Zach, they can contact us at OnePiecePodcast.com, Twitter.com, YouTube.com, and Facebook.com/OnePiecePodcast. One Piece Podcast is our Skype name. OnePiecePodcast@gmail.com is our email address. OnePiecePodcast.tumblr.com for news updates and funny pictures. Subscribe on the Stitcher Smart Radio app. Subscribe on SoundCloud. Subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. Do all that stuff. You can also call us on our phone number. Zach?
That phone number is 347-497-MAJI.
Maji.
That phone number again is 347-497-6254. Call anytime.
I'm...
With your questions, comments, theories, and yeah, that's... Yeah. We don't really accept calls from cats. Well, now I'm going to get voicemails from cats. This is what's going to happen.
Hey guys, it's me, Cat Stevens. Cat Stevens, you know, I used to be Cat Stevens, but now I'm Yusuf Islam. Well, I gotta go.
He's actually just Yusuf now. He dropped the last name.
Hey, don't tell me what my name is. I gotta go.
1877 calls from cats.
No, that's gonna get stuck in my head all day. Calls from cats.
Leave your voicemails of cats chewing on their food to the Skype phone call line.
God.
Okay.
Why does your cat have some sort of Spanish accent rolling its R's?
It's really Antonio Banderas voicing a cat.
From now on, we are strictly...
That's happened before!
I know. I'm not original.
Stealing his gimmick.
All right, from now on, we're going to be a strictly dog podcast, if possible.
Yeah.
I'm Poochie the dog.
Hey guys, it's me, Dog the Bounty Hunter. Well, I gotta go. I gotta catch Domino, who is selling mushrooms.
I was going to say that's a Cowboy Bebop.
And hey, it's me, Rover Dangerfield. Who remembers that classic?
I remember it. I'm Dog the Bounty Hunter. I'm bye.
Well, before... I think this podcast has gone off the rails, but I just want to remind everyone one more time, go to teespring.com/OnePiecePodcast, teespring.com/bananameshirt, and go to OnePiecePodcast.com/donate to help us get to Dallas, to help us do more with whatever we will be filming there. Huge thanks to Jose, who will be coming out with us, and of course Jammer and Ed and Steve as well. Why don't we round off? My name is Zach.
My name is Ed.
And my name is Steve.
And my name is Snoop Dogg. I heard you guys were having a dog podcast. Sorry I'm a little late, but I was getting high. This is a terrible Snoop Dogg impression.
It's right. One,
Mitch Hedberg.
two. Yeah.
We'll see you next week, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.
One Piece chat. And my name is Steve.
And my name is Snoop Dogg. I heard you guys were having a dog podcast. Sorry I'm a little late, but I was getting high. This is a terrible Snoop Dogg impression.
It's right. One,
Mitch Hedberg.
two. Yeah.
We'll see you next week, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.
One Piece chat. Why did I give the peace sign to my?
Oh, it's DMX. Dogcast.
Yo, no, you do terrible rap artists.
Yeah.
No, not just saying like you do terrible impressions, but you do impressions of terrible rap artists.
Oh,
Hey,
say
come
that
on.
about Snoop.
Or
Where the hood at? Have a dog fight in my backyard.
I woke up in the morning and I went to work, and I went there because I had to twerk my butt cheeks. That's when you flap them back and forth. And then I said, hey, May the 4th, we have a One Piece podcast episode, but I'm not going to be there. So who gives a shit?
Goop Troop Bloop Blorp.
Poop shoot bloop blorp.
No, I said Goop Troop.
Oh, yeah, yes.
It's a reference to our episode
I know.
of One Piece.
Our best-selling episode.
Isn't One Piece grand?
It's a grand line. But many lines, because many lines make up drawings.
And it'll be a grand battle.
It'll be a grand adventure, but only in America.
Yeah.
I hate you guys.
I love you, Zach.
I love you, Steve. And I love you too, Zach. It's not a weird love triangle. We all love each other.
Well, yeah, it's kind of just, well, it is kind of like a triangle, but just everything, the love is kind of just going in the motion of a triangle.
Is it isosceles?
It's kind of like,
still recording?
This attests to the unofficial One Piece podcast. My name is Zach.
And my name is Ed.
How you doing today, Ed?
Doing all right. We're excited. Big
Are you
news.
also ready?
Yes. Big news day today.
Yeah.
I'm excited and ready.
Steve.
will somebody please open the damn door? That's what we live in. A dam.
Steve, you're going to have to do all the parts yourself.
I guess so. I'm like, no one could have gave me a gasp there. Like, but then again, I guess. And we read a manga where characters like, oh, that motherfucker Doflamingo. I'm gonna fuck you up, Doflamingo. I guess.
Oh, what a numbnuts. Didn't somebody call somebody
No, dickwad.
dipshit? Oh, dickwad, that's what
That
it
was
was.
Zoro called him a dickwad.
Yeah, that should be our next One Piece podcast T-shirt. It's just a Zoro with a speech bubble that says like, "Chill out, dickwad."
Greg, how's it going?
Radical.
I just finished watching Ushijima-kun Season 2, Lone Shark. Awesome manga and drama series. Very dark humor.
Cool. Steven.
Greetings. That's all you get out of me.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like,
All my excitement is gone. No.
Dude, I think we got you, but I'll make
It's
sure.
time for everybody's favorite segment. What's Alex eating for dinner tonight? What is he eating for dinner tonight? Well,
This is gimmick infringement. You can't do this when Greg's here.
well, as a matter of fact, Ed, I can. And you interrupted me before I was about to tell everybody what Alex is eating tonight. Alex is enjoying a nice leftover meal of Greek Easter, which includes lamb, tzatziki, green beans with lots of garlic, Greek salad, and pasta salad, which is sort of like an antipasta. It's not really a Greek thing, but it was a potluck. So
No,
it's
it's not pasta salad. It just hates itself.
Was there like a ton of like second Easters this past Sunday? It seemed like everyone else.
Actually,
Yeah.
I think it was
Orthodox
Easter. Yeah.
aka the real Easter because it follows the equinox.
I saw on Facebook you had like a Greek smorgasbord thing going on there. Was that that looked really good?
Yeah.
Smorgasbord, is that where you eat food off of Jerry Ryan?
That's right. Smorgasbord.
Alex, should we?
Yeah, you eat approximately 7 of the 9 foods that are on her.
Alex, are we still going to Greek prom?
Oh, yeah. We're going to Greek prom.
Yeah.
Is that a euphemism?
Yeah. For anal sex.
This is the manga recap for chapter 783. Shit, this is going to be one of those.
Oh my god!
What is going on?
I'm a bad little boy.
Steve, you said that a couple weeks ago. Is that a reference to hackers?
No.
Brain cancer, cancer brain. What is going on?
No, it's the Joe Schmo show.
This is the manga recap for chapter 783, In My Way. Let me do that one more time.
I thought you were going to say in my wang.